Yeah, yeah,
We are
yeah.
live. We are live and late.
Hello. Hello,
Hi.
everyone. How is it going? Hi, Tasha.
Hi, hi, hi. Hello, hello,
Perfect.
hello.
It's another beautiful Saturday again. I'm so happy to be with you all. And thank you for those of you that waited for us. There was a little bit of delay in the studio, and I had a traffic along the way. I went for a training today. Yeah, on my way back from Bologna to Parma, there was a lot of traffic on the way, but I'm fine. I'm here with you. It's a pleasure for me to be with each and every one of you. And how's it, Tiasha? How's life? How was the week for you? Oh, what happened to Tiasha? We lost her. Good, good, good. Thank you all for joining me. And as always, it's going to be a great show. I almost lost you there, Tiasha. What happened?
I don't know, it threw me out. Guys, this
Good.
technology is absolutely insane.
It's crazy at times, believe me.
Oh
It could
my
be
goodness.
it could be very crazy
Anyway,
at times.
I heard that you have a question for me, and it just threw me
Yeah.
out then.
Yeah, I was asking how was your week?
You know what? Honestly, it's been all right. We had one quite a hot day during the week, so I used it, to spend some time outside since it's raining again.
Good.
But yeah, overall, it was been okay. How was yours? You've been on the training and stuff.
Yeah,
You
my
have
week
many
went
more stories to tell.
a lot of stories to tell. My week was great. It was a very great week. It was raining until Thursday, actually. Thursday. It rained yesterday as well. It was raining the whole time here in Italy, but at the end of the day, the weather is a little bit better today. I was
Oh,
in
good.
the city of Bologna today, and it was sunny. At the beginning, it was actually cold in the morning, but during as the day continued to proceed, then the sun came out, and everything was great. Everything was
Mhm.
great. So it was a great week for me. And during the week, I was asked or posed a question, which is actually the title of our show tonight. I was posed a
Mhm.
question during the week if looking back at my experience here in Europe and the things that I've been able to do personally,
Yeah.
what my advice would be for a young person that is starting out afresh here in Europe. The question came in a first of all with a particular reference to somebody with a migrant background, which is also a good thing. But however, I think that the question it is actually not about being a migrant or an immigrant here in Europe. In my opinion, it is a question that actually refers to any young person in any particular society around the world. Because I do
Yeah.
believe as a person that starting out afresh could be extremely hard and difficult for some young people for various reasons that we could go into, we could start talking about from today till tomorrow without actually going out of it. But in my attempt to answer the question, I had to draw into my personal experience and that of the people that those that I've come across in my sojourn here in Europe. And I believe I believe not only to some extent, I genuinely believe that my story personally could be a source of inspiration to some people for a particular reason, in the sense that whatever way or strategy, idea that you choose to go about your life in life, if you are courageous, tenacious, tenacity is very, very important,
Yeah.
resilient, whatever strategy you adopted in going about things in life, you will get there Definitely. Why do I
Hmm.
say this? When I came to Europe, I had the possibility of going to school, and then
Yeah.
yes, I was first of all I was a student of the CTA European College in Cyprus, in the city of Limassol, and things transpired in my life that I had to move from Cyprus to Italy. I came here for reasons best known to me and the circumstances in which I find myself. I had to seek for international protection, and luckily I was given. And when I was given the protection, I had to start my life afresh. I was sharing this story some time ago. I mean, the last time I was in Prato when we talked, I kind of delved into it a little bit. But for the fact that I was asked the question again on Wednesday, I believe that it is important that I take my time to go into it a little bit. What did I
Hmm.
do exactly? Was that I started my life afresh from zero, in the sense that I intentionally forgot about the fact that, look, I had done some schooling in my country. I had done some schooling even in another European country. I had to go back to secondary education again. This was my choice. For another person, it could be a different thing entirely. I had to go back to a secondary school, did secondary education again until it got to a time that I was able to register or make ask for an admission into a university, of which I did. I studied at the University of Parma, and I studied education and processes of education and teaching, which gave me a very solid background today as an educator. And along before then, I did a vocational training that was organized by the region, because I live in Emilia Romagna region, part of
Hmm.
Italy. A vocational training that has to do with that gave me the possibility to have a training on intercultural mediation, which with which I was working with migrants that are still living in the refugee reception center. And along the line, after doing some other vocational training that I had to do in Italian, it's called Secretariato Sociale, which actually enable you to have the knowledge and the skills to be able to refer people, new arrivals, to various offices here in our local context, where they can go if they have inquiries, how they will be able to start their integration process here in Italy. And then, having done all of these things and having done some trainings, I was able to get a job in an association called CHAC. It's an OLUS, it's an non-governmental organization, and we are majorly into advocacy for refugees' rights and migrants that are living here in Italy. And we collaborate with various institutions here in Italy and at the European level. So, what comes with my training is this: I am 100% into juridical, especially the immigration aspect in Italy. We carry out constant training every time of the year. For instance, today I went to Bologna because there was a national assembly that was organized that is focused on policies, European policies. I don't know if many of us are aware about the fact that in the month of June there will be European election, and the new European Parliament will be coming up, or the session will be starting by the month of July. So we met policymakers today having a discussion. So why am I saying this? Is that this is what I do. However, it is not something that came overnight. And not to bore anyone with my discussion. However, the reason why I made this decision to go about my life this way, because for anyone seeing me today might believe that, look, I now have some success. For some people that may be gullible, they might think that it is easy. I got lucky. I'm where I am probably because somebody liked my face or whatsoever. That, to some extent, may be true. The reason why is this because I, for one, believe that no matter how hard you work, a little bit of luck is necessary as well in life. It is part of my philosophy. You may be the number one surgeon, the greatest strategist in the world, the best speaker or whatsoever, but if nobody pushes your envelope, if nobody advocates for you on your behalf, oftentimes most doors are closed. This is what I believe. This is part of my philosophy because I believe in that human relationship, because I believe that human can actually help another human being. Because the reason why I was
Absolutely.
able to move from Cyprus to Italy, it was somebody that developed interest in me and gave me that happy hand. That was the reason why I was able to come here. So I came to a new country as a young person, and I sat down and make a conscious decision. Where do I want to go in my life? In life, not only did I sat down and decide where I need to go, I had to have a plan. I devised a plan how we go about it. One of the things that I told myself that I will do to change things around for me was to understand, learn, not only to know how to speak Italian language, I should be able to understand it. The four pillars of language: reading, writing, comprehension, and speaking. So
Yep.
I studied the Italian language with complete intention, with these four things in mind. I do not only want to know how to speak it, I want to know how to write it. For anybody that has studied language will know it is possible. For instance, a little child could understand a language but could not know how to write it.
Exactly.
Yeah, probably who has not studied language may not know the differences in this aspect. You could understand a language without knowing how to write it.
Yeah.
I know that bonjour is kind of good morning in French language. On average,
Yeah.
if I had to write bonjour, if I just have to, as an English speaker, want to write it the way I pronounce it or I said it, I could actually write it in this form: bijou, jeju, bonjour.
Yes. Yeah.
But it is not correct. I'm
Yeah.
just using this to
Yes.
make an example anyway. I know here we're having a simple, friendly discussion. I could do that. However, I studied this language with a clear intention, and I decided again personally that I would need to work because while I was going about my education, I had the possibility of meeting the locals, fellow Italians. I had one-on-one discussions and I network. That is what I'm saying actually, not only with the what we could say the local Italians and the foreigners that are living here as well. I heard stories. I make a comparison between the stories that I heard from the Italians and the strangers living here as well. Doing
Hmm.
this enabled me to make a meaningful decision as well as a human being. So those were some of the strategies that I use.
Would you?
And
Sorry.
okay,
Would
all right.
you? Would you go the same path if, like, you were a little bit more fortunate on your journey?
If I were a little bit more fortunate on my journey,
And
probably
you
I
know what I
wouldn't have.
mean? let me put it like that. Let's say that when you went to Cyprus, you had an opportunity to actually make it with education wise, and let's say later on you might have an opportunity, same, to go to Italy. Would you do the same steps in Italy, being that, because CTL College had a higher education? Would you let those years fall behind and do it all over again? Like those little differences that might appear on your journey, would they
Yes.
affect, your decisions that you made from, let's say, Italy on?
And the thing is that the question is a very good one. If things had not been the way they were when the experience that I had, if it had been different from what I had to at that time, if I would have done something else, yes, I would have done something else, because in life at times it is your experience that kind of guide you to a particular direction in life.
Hmm.
If I had if I had meant things on a platter of gold in Italy or even in Cyprus, I probably wouldn't have taken the route that I took that got me to where I am today. I probably wouldn't have understood how difficult it is for some section of the society that live in a European context, how difficult they find life to be here in Europe. You know,
Hmm.
today I have a theory that I came up with, that I with which I explain things to people that are just coming to Europe, when I mean new arrivals, in terms in the circle of my job and among friends.
Yeah.
There was an idea that I had about the European society when I was in Africa. There is the European society that I met when I came. There is the European society that I would like us to have, because I have been living here for more than 10 years. By every means, I'm a European, I swear, because
Yeah.
I make meaningful contribution to this society. I live and breathe the European air. My family is part European and part Africa. So I am qualified via my experience in life here in Europe and with what I do to make a contribution to the society. And that is an intentional decision that I made to
Hmm.
not live in the European context in a passive way, but to be active, to be an active citizen in the society. So it is my experience that kind of guide me into, or steered me into this direction. And I will add as well that it was the caliber of persons that I met, being somebody that was politically inclined in my society, in the previous society that I lived, and getting here, be in that kind of circle, meeting people that are into advocacy for human rights, for everyone, people that want to make it, that want to bring to life the Italian constitution and everything. It was for me like being at home.
Right.
So I met people that I will say we kind of shared the same values. And when I was able to, I w- I won't say fix up my document, or rather, when I was given protection and my document wise, everything was settled and everything, I could have done it differently, like most people do, probably transfer away from the Italian society to a different part of the European society. But I choose to stay, because when I got here, going through the integration process, I was given some opportunities to better myself. And I do know for a fact that going through that process, it was financed by the state, and it is actually the citizens that fund these programs through the taxes that they pay to the government. So for me, having gotten some help from the national government, I make it a mission on my part to make a contribution to the society that has given this to me.
Mhm.
So I tone down a little bit my selfish interest. I decided to be selfless. If I have received this from the state, it mind you, it's a new experience for me. From where I'm coming from, the state do not have anything for you.
Yeah,
Good.
but you
So
see, when you say it like that, sorry to interrupt you. When you say it like that, that I wish like everybody came with the same mentality. And it's not just about all the issues that arise with the bad mentality, but it's also like because it doesn't take them anywhere. You know what I mean? Like because like some people do come
mhm,
for whatever reason again, and they get stuck because I know it's part of integration that we already discussed about. I'm totally aware of that, and I think that again we need to highlight it. But like if you are not ready, you are never, and you're not gonna be ready anywhere, you know? Because if you can't accept a little at the beginning of your journey, how are you gonna accept the more that is coming ahead of you? If that all makes sense. Because like listen, if you came to Italy for whatever reason and you were housed there, in a protection, and then when like, let's say you had an opportunity to make it out and you would go out, you're still at zero because that
absolutely.
selfishness that brings you then at square one. So what? Then you use a little bit here and a little bit there, but then at the end of your journey you are still nowhere, you belong nowhere, you are stuck, so I don't know. I think that it's very important to talk about it. Like your story is inspiring. I mean, mind you, I know, your struggles back. So, for me to see you now on the level you are, and I'm not talking just about professionally, also as a person, how much you have grown,
Mhm.
and I always knew you as a person who was like a friendly person who did care about others, and you like I always remember you removing yourself from stressful and toxic situations even back then,
Absolutely.
you know. Um, so I know the caliber of a person you've been, but like seeing you like develop into the person that you are today, and you are helping less fortunate or those who are just starting,
Mhm.
and it's that's why I find it very important. I'm very grateful that somebody actually came bravely to you and asked you, because you said before your story, you believe, can be an inspiration, but I will say that it needs to be an inspiration, even for me, for everyone, because
Yeah.
you needed to fall to rise up. Because if
Absolutely.
you had a smooth journey,
Mhm.
I'm not saying you wouldn't make it, but your journey would be so different that you might not have a podcast and share your thoughts, your experiences now with others, because they wouldn't matter to you the way they matter to you now. Because
Of course.
without them, you wouldn't be who you are.
That's true. That's true. And one thing what I will add to that, thank you very much for your observation. I really appreciate, you know, the fact is that for some people in the world, which I am part of, it is actually difficult talking about oneself. I just recently learned that it is important that we talk about ourselves because oftentimes in lives, good things don't happen to very many of us, but because we don't share it with the world, it's as if the only thing that happen in this world in this day and age are bad things. But the fact is that
Mhm.
no. good things do happen to a lot of us. And some of us are really, really very grateful for the things that we have, that we've been able to overcome, and where we are today in life, the journey itself. Like I tell people today, do whatever you can to enjoy the process. I know personally that life is a battle.
Hmm.
I know for a fact that if you keep, there is one thing that I know. I may not be the best out there in terms of not ringing my own bell, blowing my own trumpet, but I do know for a fact on any given assignment that I have decided within my mind that I want to do this, I will do anything humanly possible to see to the end of that particular project. So when I make that conscious decision to migrate from where I used to be to where I am today, I knew for a fact that look, it is the burden on me to respect the rules and regulation of that given society. One, I also knew for a fact that look, life anywhere on earth is a struggle between who has power and who doesn't have power. I
Hmm.
knew for a fact that I was coming to a European contest, knowing so well that I'm going to be among the minority class, being a migrant myself. I kind of prepare my mind for what was to come. And mind you, in the context that I'm coming from, even in my home country, Nigeria, I was of the minority tribe as well, because we have three major tribes. And my experience, even in the city of Lagos, as open as it could be described as a metropolis, as open as it is, there were some difficulties that I experienced for the fact that I am not actually of the dominant tribe in that particular part of my country at that moment. So some of the things that I experienced in Europe, in my opinion, were just secondary. I was kind of used to it. Is it normal? No, I am not in any shape or form trying to normalize any sort of stereotypical treatment meted out by other people against another group. What I'm just trying to explain is that some of the things that I would describe as form of racism here in Europe, some way, somehow, I suffer from a little bit of tribalism in the country that I came from. So it wasn't particularly new. But what I would describe that was difficult for me to manage personally was when I was poured water in Cyprus being called mocking. That was not it for me at all. And that was the reason why I said, no, I can't live in that society. I have to go to somewhere else. And luckily, I was able to make that move. But to go back to the question is that, or to answer the question properly, what actually enabled me was that I didn't start defining who Pedro Apollos is when I got to Europe. I already knew who I was. I knew for a fact already before getting to Europe that certain things, no matter how difficulties difficulty it may be for me personally, certain things I will not do.
Yeah.
I didn't go to prison before in my country. Under no circumstances will I put myself in a situation, at least if it depends on me, will I put myself in a situation to end up going to jail for something. No one is perfect. Anything can happen. But if I could avoid anything to commit an error that will lead me to that particular situation, I will do the best to avoid it. This makes a lot of difference. But this is not to say that my own way of being resilient will be the same thing for another person. So I am not in any shape here trying to make comparison between myself and another fellow migrant like myself. However, we have different background, even though we might be coming from the same household. My own form of being able to resist a particular situation or being able to manage a particular condition might be different from another person entirely. So when I got to this society, I told myself that I will not be what I was not in my previous society. I told
Mm-hmm.
myself, if it depends on me, I will do the best to obey the law. However, that does not mean that I will tolerate any form of discrimination, neither from those that are living in the society that I now find myself as well. So my
Yes.
advocacy continue, my intention, my idea of living in a society that is cohesive and a society that is friendly, that has the possibility to create that enabling environment for people of various backgrounds to coexist peacefully. The I and through my job today, I find a place to promote that as well because these are the values that I believe in. And
Mm-hmm.
along the line, I had to even de-radicalize myself due to some ideas that I used to believe. For instance, I even joke with my friends today that I am a capitalist. And the reason is this: I now have some new knowledge. I have seen the way some things operate. And for the fact that I work in a particular sector today, I have never met anyone today that is telling me that they are running, they are doing anything or everything humanly possible to go to a socialist form of society or a communist society for whatever political reasons they may believe. So, what am I trying to say? Irrespective of my political beliefs, there are some things that to some extent work. But you and I could have an argument. Who is it working for? That's a different argument entirely. But
Yeah.
apart from theory, when we come down to practical, there are some things that practically work. One plus one is two. I could have a particular philosophical idea and now begin to tell you, Tiasha, that one plus one is one, it's not two. But that's a different argument entirely. But for a layman out there, one plus one, either during the day or during the night, as we have come to understood things in life, one plus one is two. So there are
Yeah.
some things that no matter either I am a migrant or an Italian, there are some things that I must not do. I am a honorable man. I must not put myself in a situation whereby my dignity personally will be tarnished.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
if I know this already in the country that I used to live, why will I let circumstances in Europe change it for me? This is me.
That I no. Listen, I think that a lot of people, either before move, I mean prior to move, or once they start settling, I think that we often go through questions like that.
Yeah,
I'm a European, and I moved to another European country, so I'm
perfect.
not far from home, so to speak, right? But
But the
in another
context is
way,
different.
I am, yeah, but I am like, that's what I wanted to say. I am not far from home, but in another way, I am extremely far from home,
Absolutely.
you know? And
Absolutely.
and the thing is, when I'm listening to you, right? That's why I said that you could be inspiration for everyone. You must be, you should be. Because I, as an European, now looking back, I took a lot of things for granted.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to just in general, because I don't know whether this comes natural because of the society we are born in, and this is how we are wanted, not wanted, consciously, subconsciously raised up, you know. But like we just think that, what's there to do that move. Not everybody, but those who want to move. There is a lot of people that, do not want to do this stuff, and I commend them for that. Fine. But I'm saying that those that do travel or do make this, moves, I think that a lot of things is just like, yeah, it's there. What is it? You sit on a plane, you go there, right? You settle those few documents that you have to, and you
Mm-hmm.
continue your life.
Yes, that's true.
And I never for once, yeah, go on.
But this does not in any shape uh, change the fact that even as a European, your struggles are valid. Your
My
struggle
struggles,
may be
of
different
course,
from mine, but
absolutely.
taking it to the context in where you live, your struggle as something that it takes a whole lot of fortitude to handle.
That's yeah, that's also the point that I wanted to make, because I do want to compare now our
Mm.
stories. There is probably gonna be like a different audience to that, so just a little bit more relatable.
Yes.
What I also mean with that is, like, I never in a million years thought that when I moved to Cyprus, for example, that I'm gonna study. I never in a million years, as for now, thought, okay, now I'm in UK, I'm gonna further my education. I never once thought of, me being like in any type of political involvement. I've never been in my country. You see where
Mhm.
I'm going with that? Like
Yes.
that's why I said, like, I'm taking it for granted. Now, us listening to you and knowing the stories of so many, because we are all foreigners in some way. My husband, is a foreigner,
Absolutely.
and like we know different stories. You know, I feel like you bring a bigger package where the integration alone into the society as such comes with a big trailer behind you. You have a
That's
lot of
true.
shit to sort, you
Yes.
know? Let's say, I don't know, democratic republics and stuff like that. You might be used to it back in home. But I don't know, maybe because of how the politics go today, and we all know what we're talking about, right? You might be
Mhm.
different, you might be used to different democratic system that you are in a new society, you
Yes.
know
That's true.
like those
That's true.
little things like that. Then it's like also religion, can you fit
Hmm.
it in? Like the type of
Absolutely.
religion, my husband, although he's a Christian, that particular branch, I don't even know if the church exists here. As for, you get what I mean? Like, it's so many things. And
Absolutely. That's
that's why I said we take it for granted. We just go with it, and
yeah.
that's why I
You are
said you
right.
should be an inspiration. You should
I,
be.
of course I know. Of course I know. But it's just that at times, one of the most difficult thing. Okay, maybe this is a case for me. This is in my own case. I find it difficult talking about myself because, and one, this is something like I was saying earlier on. I just learned it. It is not actually good in the sense that we should be able to express and tell our stories, not to brag about it. However, it may be something that would just give a helping hand to somebody else. You know,
Yeah.
even for the fact alone, the last time we spoke, if you remember that I relate the story about the Obama effect that was carried
Hmm.
out in the life of some students in the US. That itself is something
Yes.
to anyone that has not been in the circumstances. those students find themselves in the US, they may never understand it. And that
Mhm.
is why today, as a person, being someone that was given birth to in a different continent entirely, that now lives in the European continent, I do my utmost best not to underestimate the experience of somebody like me that grew up in this society. Though for a fact that our case may be different, but I endeavor not to underestimate, because why am I saying this? Oftentimes when we make this discussion, there is always that maybe not explicitly said underestimation of one experience against the other. Of course, we are European. You can travel anywhere, you can do this, you can do that. That is true, but how many people in Europe actually have that economic resources to travel at will, the way they want, to go to the hotel that they actually want, to go to the, I mean, how many people actually have that possibility?
Mhm. It's a good
If I did
question.
not
Yeah.
live in Europe today, if I did not live in Europe today, I wouldn't have known the level of poverty that exists here.
Mhm.
Not everybody have that luxury before. Yes, very many of us work, but when you will have taken out the expenses, you are barely left with nothing at the end of the day.
Mhm.
That is a struggle itself.
Mhm.
So it may be different from me coming from a society whereby our struggle was having electricity to be able to read our books while we are preparing for exam.
Yeah.
Another experience for another person that is coming from the country that I came from might be that, look, if the uncle abroad do not send money for their school fees, they may not be able to pay their next term or do their next term examination. Our
Mhm.
struggles are different, but one should not supersede the other, or we should not talk in a way that kind of diminish or belittle the experience of the other person. And with
I
that
think that
as a
this will
premise,
never stop.
you said,
This will never stop.
yeah, yeah, I know that this will never stop, but we have experience in life today. Our experience are different. It will never stop doesn't mean that I have to second an argument like that. It will never. The thing is that, I told you earlier on that I had to de-radicalize myself.
Yeah.
Before now, I want to change the world. As we speak right now, Tiasha, I want to be the best version of myself. I want to change myself first. In fact,
Mhm.
I now apply that idea, that thought of Mahatma Gandhi. Look, be the change that you want to see in the world. The change in itself has to start with me,
Yeah.
in my place of job, in the place that I live, and in my relationship with people. I I have been able to defeat the idea of wanting validation from other people. I now do in a way that is more different than I used to do it in the past. I do what I endeavor to do what is right. And I expect whoever I'm dealing with to be right with me. I don't need you to love me. Do right by me, I am satisfied.
Mhm.
In fact, the best form of love you could show to me is to do right by me. I'm cool. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But is this the best philosophy to go about life? I don't know, but this is what is working for me.
This is
And
what
this is
works
how
for
I
you.
want to go about life. Good. So when I was posed that question, there were three things that came to my mind. And
Mhm.
to any young person out there in the world today that is starting out afresh in life, like I was asked, what would be my advice to any young person? taking into consideration my experience in life. My suggestion to anyone listening to the sound of my voice today is that as a young person, the burden is on you to make a decision on your own where you want to be in the food chain of any given society that you live.
Mhm.
Your parents, your teachers, your guardians will only do the best that they can to guide you, to support you, but nobody is going to do this for you.
Yep.
If it is part of your plans in life, and if it fits within your goal to have a university education, by all means, go for it. But if not, as we all know today, there are some vocational trainings that you can do. You still you will still be able to earn a living and travel around the world and work with multinational companies. It is possible.
I
So
mean, if that's something that a person wants to do,
wants to good.
yeah,
But the
or
most
sees.
important thing, the only advice that I believe that I will give to a young person, it is what I've just said. Make the decision yourself. Look at the society that you live in. Decide where you want to be in it. Do you want to be among the ruling class? How do you get there? How do you be among the ruling class? That is a decision for you. Do you want to be the one that absorb every form of law, indication, direction given by the ruling class? The decision is up to you as well. But mind you, we don't consciously do this. When what I actually mean with this is that your daily decision, actions that you take determine your position in the society. A lot of people may not even like the biological terms that I use, food chain. Some people may even find it offensive, but in every society on earth, as far as I am concerned, there is a hierarchical order that manage or that everyone is under in that particular society. And I will use this example when I meet people today, and at times, even people of African descent like myself, they fight between capitalist and socialist idea. Mind you, I am of the opinion as an African, neither of them pertains to me.
Yeah.
It's like me today fighting which of the slave or colonial master is better. Is it the French or the English? It makes no difference to me. Neither of them wanted the best for me other than to control my life. They were both
Hmm.
dictating my future.
Yeah.
Why will I be so proud today that I speak English instead of French or that I speak French instead of English? Neither of them are my mother tongues. They are
Hmm.
both European language. But whether I like it or not, as things stand today in the world, the only choice I have is to choose between the two.
Yeah.
So if that is the only choice I have, what choice do I really have? Thinking about it, I have no choice. Because when I cannot make a decision, a personal decision on my own as to what I should do, if I actually have a choice, I would have been traveling around the world with my mother tongue, my normal dialect, study with it and everything. But politically, I don't have that political currency to spend in the world. I can't just go anywhere in the world like I would use the English language and use my dialect, my normal mother tongue. It goes nowhere because as far as the world stands today, 2024, with the way things have been established and have been consolidated over the years, I have no choice about that. And that is what I meant with that
It,
idea of
mm,
everyone being under a hierarchical order in every society that we live in. So if I
right,
must
but
live
here you
in a
need to
particular
take it.
society, good. Tell me, please.
You need to take it a little bit different as well. Although you don't have a full control over, you're given choices and you lead your way. You still make a decision for which choice given you're gonna go for.
Yes,
Seeing it from
yes,
this perspective is also like, helpful in a way to give you that boost, because it's like to say, let's say you have a child, you want a green shirt or you want a yellow shirt, which one is gonna be today? You give him choices, I understand, but it's a child's decision. You got what I mean? Like, it's a stupid example, but I'm saying it that, it's the decision you make today is going to determine your future tomorrow. Whether you have
absolutely.
choices that you need to
Or not.
choose, from, or you have a free way. That's
Yeah,
that's the whole point.
that's a secret that a lot of you know why I said that intentionally. The reason why I said it intentionally is this: I have met people in life that fight, and they will tell me that it is their right and everything. But when I hear them explain what they consider to be right, in my opinion, with the way I see things, they actually do not have a right about it. Look, the law has established what it has established.
Yeah.
Tesha, let me make a very simple example. In most airports around the world, especially here in Europe, we have a line when you are at the airport for control whatsoever. We have a line for European and US citizens and every other passport. If I am there, if I am faced with those two lines at the airport, what choice do I really have?
No, yes, I get that. But, to get to these choices, you needed to make a choice on which of these lines you're going to be standing in the future.
Good.
You know
So,
what I mean? Like, so
yeah.
for you, for
Uh,
example, we said it before. If you are determined that you're gonna, when we were talking about integration and everything,
mhm.
you stayed in a country for 10 years. And it's now that you even consider yourself after 10 years, and
Yes,
after all that you've done, and after all the documents you received, and now you have that, shining tin in your hand. Fine, Pedro, but you made the choice to stay. No, sorry,
absolutely.
you made a decision to stay, although you've been given some choices. And now, today, when you have those two options at the airport, you know where you're gonna stand.
Yes.
So now going back to what I said before is the people that are coming here for whatever wrong reason and are a little bit here and a little bit there, they won't have anything. When they come to the airport, let's say if we use this example,
Hmm.
they don't have a choice anymore. But it's
Absolutely.
the decisions that they made back somewhere that determine that there are choices, but I'm sorry, you can't choose. That's
You
why
know,
we are talking about leading your life. How do you want to lead it? Like,
how do you
and
want to lead it? Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
And you
The
said you
thing is
said
that,
before,
mhm,
sorry, you said before, when you came to Europe, you knew who Pedro is.
of course,
Yes,
that
and
was
and
what
you
helped
know
me.
that. But let's be honest, there's so many people in their late 30s, late 40s today that still don't know who they are. They
Yes,
don't know. For
you
whatever reason, let's leave the reasons out, right?
yeah,
They exist.
Absolutely.
And this is what we want to say, because people, if I may, because it's all this politics that we were mentioning and economy, if I just can use this a minute to just put my two senses in, you know people today will complain. They will talk against things that they don't, you know I'll say they have control over, if we are talking about horde, not
Mm-hmm.
as an individual,
Okay.
especially when it comes to politics. They're even in looking back in the history, when it was horde involved and horde was fighting, horde
Yeah.
succeeded,
Mm-hmm.
no matter for how long, but they succeeded at the end.
Yeah.
Persistence, determination, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the goal, the needs, whatever was involved. Now, what I'm seeing now is a society, whether it be Europe, whether it be Africa, whether it be whatever, people just complain. People just complain. I don't have a choice. I don't have this. I don't have that. I can't make it. I'm stuck. I'm this. I'm that. Everybody is guilty for their problem apart from themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I, if I'm looking back in my situation, I've done to what I believed everything possible to try and make my life close to my family.
Mm-hmm. True.
And Pedro, mind you, now looking back, I might not have, because maybe there was something somewhere that I could try harder, but maybe I gave up. But listen, I left that part and I was given a choice. You're gonna stay and you're gonna complain and suffer, or you're gonna be brave enough and move that step in another direction, start from zero, and try to make it. Because if you don't take it, Tasha, you don't know you don't know what is waiting for you. So there are two choices.
Yes.
Which one you gonna go for? And this is
You
what I'm
are.
saying, and it's day by day. This is like I can have a vision, but my vision 10 10 years ago was me living with my husband close to my family, having a
Mm-hmm.
family there of our own, you know, but that was 10 years ago. And then just in 3 years' time or 4 years' time after that vision came, my everything collapsed. And I could still be now in Slovenia and complain about my life and what Slovenia has given me or not given me, or the opportunities that I didn't have or didn't take. You know what I mean? So it's just like day by
Absolutely.
day, leading your life day by day and making those decisions. Whatever choice you have, you make the decision for which choice given you're gonna go for. So that was my point
So true.
when you said,
So true.
it. I don't know. I think that we are just stuck in. We can make changes, not just in our
Of
life. We
course.
can change the
You,
bloody world.
Tasha, listen. I'm very careful as far as young people are concerned. I'm very careful what I say. So when I use that word, I use it intentionally when I said decide where you want to be in any given society, where you want to be in the food chain of that given society. I meant it with all of my heart. Do you want, and what I will take further
Yeah.
in it is this, like I explained earlier on, do you want to be part of the ruling class or the one that is being ruled over? Mind you,
Hmm.
what I'm saying doesn't sound nice. Even with the way I'm saying it, some people might take offense about it. But Have you seen the way things go in society? We are either indirectly involved in it or directly involved.
Mm.
When I said oftentimes we do not have a choice, it is because I am not speaking in terms of what we just see with our naked eyes. I am talking in terms of the philosophy behind what happens in our society. One could even consider it as a conspiracy theorist or whatsoever. But however, the fact remains that if you gave me just two choice as a citizen, I either take this or the other one. What if I say no? I don't want neither of the two. I am
Uh,
probably an anarchist, which
See what you've done to
which
me?
God sorry.
um,
Philosophically is another way of life.
that's where all these issues, I think that what you are doing, and I'll also say what I'm doing, or at least not doing as such, but the way I'm seeing things, I am the one who refuses to take those two choices, and I believe that you are one of those two. Okay, because let's be
Yeah.
frank, we're being like honest now. Let's
Mhm.
put it there on the table. And there is nothing wrong with that, okay, people? There is nothing wrong with that.
Of course,
There is
being
always a
able,
third way.
yeah, but
Mind you, it might be harder to reach. There might be more hurdles there. There might be this and that and left and right and whatever. You understand? But if you are
absolutely.
determined that that's your way, then absolutely go for it. You're unstoppable.
Hmm.
If you decide that you are unstoppable, you're unstoppable. That determination is gonna get you to A, from A to B. Million percent.
That is true. But mind you, as a young person, or just like you said earlier on, there are people that are in their 30s, but they genuinely do not know where they are going in life. They don't have a clear
Hmm.
idea of who they are. So,
But
how
Pedro,
we,
can I be honest and maybe a little bit rude and maybe like I don't care? But those people can never change their life or the world or anything. So like they can be where they are.
so
More
true.
opportunities for me.
However,
If you
Tasha
don't,
is a choice that they made. That is the reason why I said earlier on, either you took an action or not, irrespective of what you do, you are making choices anyway.
you
You are
are.
deciding
But
where you
what
want to
I'm
be.
saying is, yeah. But we are saying now people that at 40s, whatever, they don't know who they are, what they want. I'm not saying that's wrong. Like that's okay. It looks like it suits you.
Mhm.
You can have it. Fine. There is more for me then.
Good.
Because if
The
we all would be determined to reach our goals, if we would all be determined to get to whatever, you understand? I
mhm.
think it would get a little bit too crowded at the top. So, I'm all for the healthy balances. But where I have a problem is that because they cannot make it, or they don't know how to make it, or they didn't decide to make it, they want to pull us down. This is where my problem starts with people like that.
Generally, Tiasha, our aim, our mission is to be able to help as much people as we could, our fellow
That's,
citizens.
yeah.
The moral of our discussion, the essence of our discussion generally is to help others. If we have to make example of those that do not know where they stand or whatsoever, that could be considered as an extreme case in this kind of situation. Because at the end of the day, it would have been nice that with the experience that we have in the world today, that the future could be different in a better way than what it is today. The last time we spoke, we made some references to the parenting style that is predominant in our societies today, where most parents uses practice this laissez-faire idea, children do whatever they want without consequence, or rather, parents being friends to their children when they should have been parents to their children. But the
Hmm.
consequence of that parenting style is going to come in the nearest future.
Yeah.
I, however, believe that it is a duty for myself and yourself and everyone else that care about the future of our society to start one way or the other being a distant parent to any young person out there via discussion that we're having today. Like I keep saying here in our podcast, people shy away from this kind of discussion. They don't want to do it because these are not discussions that make you more friends. They rather make you you lose friends
Oh,
having kind of
tell me
discussion.
about it. Tell me about it.
So it's a very hard topic and a very hard pill to swallow because nobody wants to believe that they are failure in life. Nobody wants to believe that from the way they are living their life, it is most likely that they are going nowhere with that kind of lifestyle. Nobody wants to believe that. Everybody wants to believe that they are king and queens, prince and princess and everything. However, it is true also in life that life is hard. Life is hard.
Yeah.
Life, like I keep saying, it's not like music. When it hits you, you will feel the pain. When it hits you, you will feel the pain. It's not something that hits you and you feel no pain. Life is very, 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 very hard. So, for any young person out there, I will repeat, if you are starting out a life afresh, you don't know where you want to go or where to take your life, you don't know what, even where to start. Just do me this favor. Have a talk with yourself. If it means speaking with somebody that you trust, speak with them. But make the conscious decision on your own where you want to be in the society that you live in.
Hmm.
And if for whatever reason, do the best that you can to stay away from the dark. The dark side, with this, I mean any vices that may destroy the future that you hope for. But I
See,
can
this is
guarantee you, with hard work and tenacity, whatever it is that you set your mind on, and with right and proper mentor, you will get there. I have seen
yeah.
people that studied to be a medical doctor in their 40s. It was because it fit in within what they could consider to be their destiny and their plans in life. I have seen people, just like Tiasha was saying earlier on, in their 30s or 40s, they don't even know where they stand. They don't know
Hmm.
where they are going in their life. We are not saying here today that is a bad thing necessarily, but some way, somehow, just like they say, when you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
I mean,
This
we
does
have
not,
to be honest here. If you as an adult do not know where you stand or who you are, whatever, you can't even put that on your children, and your children are the next future.
and
Next
you can't blame the
society.
society that it does not mean because of you are living under the capitalist society or socialist society, because oftentimes people neglect, they don't work on their goal, they blame everybody else. There are some of us that are very fond of doing that. Taking care of yourself, the basic need, except one is sick for medical reasons or whatsoever. If we are talking of pure laziness, which a lot of people are, it is difficult. I know there is no already made job out there. But I do know at least to have your daily bread. If you speak up, if you do not have a job personally of your choice, with this, I'm talking of lifestyle here, you can do basic things that will give you your daily bread like most of us. However, if you want to live in the suit, the corporate suit or whatsoever, then there is a different route entirely that you need to take to get there. If that is what the person wish for. But some of us do not want that. We just need an ordinary life. And it's okay. But what I will never accept from any adult for whatever reason is that when you choose a particular lifestyle, don't come out there to complain. I can never accept it, no matter how I care and wish well for you. If you have made your choice, accept the outcome of it. I can never accept that you come out to complain over the choice that you made yourself. Because while it is true that we have basic salary in every society that we live, the cost of living is expensive. Most of us do not even have a job that is able to take us through the month. I
Yeah.
understand. But if you intentionally make a choice to remain a lazy person and don't do what is necessary to be able to carry your weight in life, I don't want to know about your complaint. I'm really sorry. I'm really
That's
sorry.
what I wanted to, maybe, yeah, that's what I kind of wanted to say before, right? Because it's easy just to be there and complain and, not do. I feel like there is oftentimes, I don't know, there are some people that do not make it or do not want to make it or do not want to try because of the way the society sees them succeeding, or the way the society is pulling them down somehow. That's why I also mentioned it before, because listen, if I listened to my society when I said that I want to move, I would still be in Slovenia,
Good.
because that was the society that I should trust, that I should, you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, even now when I ask myself, was it because they were giving me a genuine advice out of their fear, or
It is
it was more
possible.
like, I do not want you to make it kind of a
Let
advice?
let's even stay on the positive side. It might be that they genuinely felt that
I
look,
don't know, because
it
these
was
people
not
today
necessary.
don't talk to me, so it's very hard to stay positive.
Okay, that's a different thing entirely, which
Yeah,
means, in my opinion, even though I do not know them, I do not know the circumstances beside within which those advice and everything was made, but this is your personal experience, and I know you very well. I don't believe you are coming here to say things that are not true. So if no, I'm playing the devil's advocate here.
yeah,
Let's When I said let's be positive, it might be that they made a genuine observation based on what they know, the information that they have. They gave that suggestion or advice to you based on what they know.
yeah,
At times in life, there are some of us that have limiting beliefs, scarce, scarce mindset. People believe, you know, Tiasha, I said earlier on, at times for one to make it in life, I genuinely believe this. You need a share bit of luck. It's as if I'm repeating myself again, but however, I will say it again. For you to make it in anything in life, you might be the greatest musician. When you sing, even the angels will be clapping and everything. However, if nobody knows you, you are only singing while you are taking your shower at home. Nobody knows you, no matter how well you could sing within your family. Your mother knows that you could sing and everything. So, what am I saying? For your talent to be useful to the general public, to the society as a whole, somebody have to help you to nurture it and present it to the public. In that case, it will be beneficial.
I
We all
get
need,
that. I get that.
yeah, we all need help from each other. So I will not encourage anybody today. No, I know that it is hard to trust other people in the world today, but however, you still need to trust someone. You still need somebody fighting your case on your
Yes,
behalf
but
to
Pedro,
get to
there
somewhere.
is a big difference, right? Like you, for example, making that huge step and moving and doing what you're doing and now sharing that story. You have a background to actually advise people.
Yes.
Now, I got an advice from people that might see London once or never. You get me? And they
Mm,
didn't travel further from like Balkan Peninsula.
good.
You know,
Which means
what
the
advice can I
exposure was not
actually
even
take
there.
from this person?
That's
You
true.
understand what I mean? So
Hmm.
there is a huge difference. Like, of course there are people you can trust. Like, I trust you, I know where you've been, I know what you've been through. You understand? I know your story. And if I
Yes.
would ask you, like, Pedro, what should I do, A or B? I would go for advice to you because I know, you know, you have some things behind yourself and you carry
Hmm.
them still up to today on your shoulders. So your advice would be genuine and I would take it to my heart, because you've been there, you've done that. But like somebody who hasn't is sharing those advices, and there might not always be the most genuine, the most right, or even, for the right reason.
And probably based on
This
ignorance
is
as
what
well.
I meant with it. So
Yes.
you need to be also very careful. That's why lead it your way. Like you can take it, but have, with that pinch of salt. Just be
And on this particular aspect, I blame parents as well. They don't encourage their children to be courageous. And we were talking about this the other day, and when I said, as a person, there are four things that I really believe: courage, determination, dedication, and sacrifice. Those are the
mm,
four things that I believe in philosophically that help me whenever I approach things or embark on a particular journey, business, personally, professionally, and everything. I always take along with me those four things in mind. You need courage to start anything in life. It took me all the courage in the world to start this podcast. I always I believe that I don't have the best voice in the world, but
come on,
I also
people,
know for if
encourage Pedro. Tell him that he's amazing.
good. I also know for a fact that, like Zig Ziglar said, is it Zig Ziglar or Brian Tracy? I can't remember which of them. You don't need to be great to start. You have to start to be great.
Yeah,
And when I
amen.
consulted people that have been in this fair and everything, YouTubers and the rest, lo and behold, they told me that you should start even talking of your video resonating with people when you are talking of your 100th episode. It's been more than a year I've not been able to make 100 episode. You see how it is? The determination has to be there.
Yes,
Courage to start, determination, and then when it comes to dedication.
right.
I could have every reason not to be here tonight, but here I am. My day started since 5:30 this morning. Am I not here? Fine. It's not as if I did something different from the two of you. But what am I saying is that little dedication and sacrifice for anything to come to fruition, either in our personal life, business life, it has to be there. This is just a very simple example because who's maybe somebody that waited for the show to start usually at 8 like it used to be may not know what I did today and the reasons why I was not able to come on air on time. Some people might even see it as a form of neglect, but I said sorry earlier on for the delay and everything. However, there were reasons why. And I just want to say this, then I will let you speak, Tiasha, and we'll say hello to Pascal as well that joined us in the meantime. I was watching a podcast recently. There was a particular speaker that was saying
Mhm.
that, look, it is only someone or a person that do not have momentum in their life, that don't have anything going on in their life, that will never come out and apologize, that will never be late for anything, that will never have any reasons to apologize to anyone because they don't have momentum, they don't have anything going on. If you have momentum, if you have to be in Australia and your flight delay, you couldn't go on that day or maybe it was cancelled, you have no choice but to call the organization that you are going to meet and apologize and explain to them what happened. So our life could not be so perfect as some people want to make it look like. There are things that happen in life, you have to make peace with them. So when I encourage people in my time, in what I call in Pedro Apollo's mind, when I speak with people, when I try to encourage people, when people ask me for advice or suggestion, I try to be as honest as possible as I believe it. Then at the same time, I try not to sugarcoat words as much as I could. And I even learned this thing from you, Tiasha. You give it to me or to anybody that asks you for suggestion raw.
Yeah,
But that is very, very useful to me. That has helped me in a lot of
I wish
way.
that everybody was like that.
But that is the reason why we are discussing today. And that is the reason why in our discussion, whether people like it or not, at least for a young person out there, the question that was asked to me was kind of categorized to mean somebody being a migrant. But I, for one, saw in the
This goes for
question that
everyone.
it's for everybody. It's
You
for
don't
everybody.
need to relocate, you don't need to move, I mean, all what we spoke about today is about everyone. It is not about
Perfect.
just migrants, immigrants, this or that, or refugees, or asylum seekers, or whatever. No, it's for everyone. But it's also wanted. When you were mentioning all of this, hi Pascal, we're gonna say hi. Don't worry.
Don't worry, Pascal. We
uh,
saw you.
uh,
We've seen you.
it's
Don't
just
worry.
it's just I also want people that, if we can now categorize it into us who migrated, I want others to see or hear our perspective as well, because it goes
Perfect.
both ways. Like, inside of this, there is an advice based on our experiences and our stories for those who might be making a step, whether to relocate, whether to change a job, whether to get a new lesson, whether whatever it might be, right? There is an advice for everyone inside of this. However, I want other people that are whether there already, or they don't want to be there, or they are stuck or whatever, to understand what it takes and what is involved, and what is at the backstage of all of us and our smiles.
So true.
I always say it here, right, where I am in UK, although I feel like I'm very, very much accepted. But I always say, to those who might say certain things about us foreigners, like, listen, I am here by choice. I made that decision.
So
True.
true.
But I also made a decision to leave everything I ever knew behind. So do
So true.
not point finger on me, you know, because the decisions that I made are good for me. I'm not trying to step on your way. I am making my way. I
And
just seem to cross yours.
your presence in that territory is a blessing. You are a net contributor.
I mean, yeah, I wish that, but unfortunately not everybody see it like that. However, what I'm trying to do here is, with this short speech, is that people see it from our perspective, that
Mm-hmm.
like where you are today is not just where you've been put, and you are there and now you are being smart on a podcast, or you are being smart at, I don't know, um, different educational programs you have right now today, let's say in Bologna. You understand? You've not been put there. And I
Of
want
course.
people to understand that. Those that are trying to get there, those that will never do, or whatever. But you need to see it from the backstage point of view.
Yes,
There is
that's
sweat,
true.
sour, tears, sadness, and all those darkness and darkest days involved for us to be where we are.
And above all, the decision to show up. Some people never even show up. They never start in the
This,
first place.
because we said it before, and I'm gonna say it again loud for whoever is gonna watch this or is watching at the moment. You know, this is where my problem comes, because you decided for this podcast for this exact reason. Let us talk, no matter, even if it's even jokes, whatever. Let us talk, because people don't
Um,
talk nowadays.
I want
Mhm.
to I want to add something because
Yes, so
Hi,
true.
Pascal.
Hi
I
Pascal, come on. It was very. I thought we had a very, and this is something that is crazy this time around. I We plan to do a very simple, lovely discussion, but oftentimes it goes the other way around.
yeah,
It's
that is
crazy.
life for you. That is life for you.
Good.
You keep on planning and replanning and replanning until you get something. It can
Yeah,
never be exactly the way you want it.
so true.
I've been all listening from the background, even though I wanted to come on, but a lot of activities, so I try to listen from the background. Then until
Perfect.
then. So first of all, I wanted to say something based on what I heard from our sister here.
Good.
Um, um, you know, in discussion of migrant or migration, every one of us is a migrant. Okay, every one of us is a migrant. So because even from the time immemorial, but the issue here is this: um, when you see people, maybe these ignorant people, let's put it that way. If you see somebody who is crazy or somebody who is tough, the
Hmm.
other person always have a friend. There's always somebody, someone listening to. No matter how tough that person may be, someone listening to someone. Now, as people who do investigation, what do they do? Those stubborn people, those people that portray toughness, those people they
Okay.
listen. How did they behave? You have to go and learn. You have to go and study those friends they are making, those top people. You have to study them, how they behave. Then you can be able to conquer those people you feel that they're tough. What I'm trying to say here is this: there's nobody in this life you cannot conquer their heart if you want to. But how do you go about it? Migration, yes, we come to a country, there's a lot of racism, a lot of things going on. But people are living in that country. People are making it in that country. So
Hmm.
why are those people making it? You are the one complaining racism. I do not say racism does not exist. I do not say bad thing does not exist. But it's a question someone have to ask his or herself.
Mm-hmm.
And that
I agree.
response, that response is something that's gonna push you to do the right thing. Because you come into a country, first of all, you have to, because in my language they say that a fowl, when you go and bring a fowl from another compound, and bring into your compound, Therefore, go and watch it. It will not stand with the two legs. It will stand with one leg. Until when the fowl start feeling comfortable, then it now come down with two legs. If you
Mm.
go to a country you don't know, first of all, you have to go and learn. You have to go and know the people. Knowing the people, you can know the people from many things. You have to participate. You have to communicate. You have to interact. You have to make friends. You have to sacrifice. Because when you are listening to friends, that you have to look at those your friends. What kind of life are they living?
That's why I said, right, you can take, I mean, you with a pinch of salt. Certain advices come with pinch of salt. That's why I even mentioned before to Pedro that, obviously for that reason I would take his advice, knowing what he's been through and, where he's coming from, rather than from somebody that, might not be giving me advice wholeheartedly. That's what I made maybe a little bit less clear before, but that's kind of what I wanted to say.
So
So
true.
now I want to say add on issue that in life there is a process.
Mm-hmm.
There is a process to live. And if you don't follow the process, you will start over again. Maybe you will start over again at old age and you regret the action. You know, we see things, but we fail to question some certain things. But we will try to do it because others are doing it. Others are not us. They are who they are. We are who we are. Because if I can give you example, you have a car, Pedro have a bike, I have a bicycle, and the another person don't have anything. He's on foot. Now we are taking a range of 10 kilometers.
Yeah,
Probably the person with a car will ride first. The person on bike will second, the bicycle third, the food will come last. But at the end of the day, we arrive at our destinations. That,
Destination anyway.
that's what matters. It doesn't matter who come there first. It doesn't. The worst matters that you arrive there because you know the parents, for example, when we have, I'm talking about parents, fathers, and mother. That's they are the first to tell
yeah,
you that the journey of a life, take a process, and it is not an easy journey
yeah,
because sometimes you'll be broken, sometimes you'll be done, but you have to keep on going. You don't. Others are making it, you are not making it. Others are living it large, you're not living. It does not mean that you will not arrive there. You don't have to be doing because others are doing. You have to do
Mm-hmm.
it because it's the right time for you to do it. You can
And the
trek
right thing to do.
because yeah, you can trek for God knows how much, but that does not matter. It does not count. What matters is that you are doing the right thing. You are planning yourself. You know what you want, and you know that your suffering is something that is temporary, not permanent. That
Mm-hmm.
you are heading somewhere. But you cannot know these things if your parents didn't start early age to tell you. Because if you know these things early age, that means you can apply the patience. Because to do this kind of thing, it requires a lot of patience that we lack in this generation. Because there's sometimes the nature will push you. You have to push yourself back. You have to draw yourself back
yeah,
and be on the line. But if you allow the nature to push you away, you fell apart. You start living like others. You try to, please others, because at the moment when you fell apart, you will not be living your life. You'll be living life for others, because when you are doing what others are doing, you are not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for others, not for yourself. You're living others people's life. So now, for the issue of migrant, migrant is something is a very strong issue, most especially in this Europe we are living. You know, when you are a people of color, is even more difficult, because whatever you do, you're suspect. So it,
I know about that. Yeah.
it have to it take you a lot, because it take you a lot to build the trust
Mm-hmm.
with people. It take you so much. They even when they have the trust on you, they still suspect that they don't that it is not something that started today, and it's not something that's gonna end today.
Yeah.
But people have to understand that when you come to a foreign land, you have to first of all put yourself together. When you make someone to lose trust, most especially a foreigner, lost trust, that a foreigner who is trying, you know, to get one or two trust, now you make him or her lose the small trust. You know, you end up in the
Uh,
streets.
But that's again the decisions that, right, we spoke about before.
Yes.
It's your
Yes.
way to lead. Yeah, so it's part of that. Like it's the decisions that you're gonna make that are gonna take you there or there.
Yes.
Um,
Because in life, the same thing could happen to the three of us. Our reaction will be different. That is
mhm.
how things are in life. Things are usually that way. And however the case, our discussion here is not to minimize or underestimate the experience of other people. That is not our intention at all.
Yeah,
However, while we do understand that life is hard, things could be very, and one of those that generally believe that life is a battle, you are in a constant battle between good and evil as a human being. Then, however you choose to fight and confront your demons is is your choice, because the instrument that you need to fight it, you are the one as an individual that is going to identify them. I could make a suggestion to you. At the end of the day, deep down in your heart, you are the one that make that conscious decision. At least here we are talking of people that are mentally sane. The decision is of the individual in person.
Yeah,
However, life is hard does not mean that we should destroy our moral compass and begin to do things that we in a normal circumstances would not do, because at the end of the day, anything, for some of us that have children, anything that we cannot joyfully and happily do in the presence of our children, why should we do it in their absence?
yeah.
It seems very banal as an example, but
No, I get it,
that
and
is
I
how it
and
should
I
be.
agree. I mean, I hope
Most of the
others are
things
gonna
that
get
bring
the deeper
disgrace to
meaning
us
of that.
are the simplest of things.
Yeah.
Tiasha, sorry, you were saying something?
No, I said that, I get what you mean, and I hope others will too, to get that deeper meaning of what you just said.
Perfect. So
Yeah.
life is hard doesn't mean that we should destroy our moral compass. I will not encourage anybody to do that. And if you are new to a new territory, a new country, just like Pascal was saying, endeavor to do your best to understand how things work in the society. I tell people that every society is unique. If you go to the United Kingdom, it's a very unique country, way different from the sister country Ireland.
Yeah.
Even within the United Kingdom, if you go to Wales, life is different completely from what it is in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are talking about the same country. I live in Italy, for instance. Life is way different in the northern part of Italy than the
Then
south.
in a southern, yeah.
So you are never going to get the same thing.
You just change a city and we are talking about adjustments.
It adjustment entirely. However, it is possible for us to live in peace wherever we go to, and especially for young people again, maybe for who I mean, for those that care to know, there are things that I believe that are important in life. In any project that you would like to do in life, there is the need for you to know that things in life take time. You know, we live in a world or at a time in life where the idea of instant gratification is highly promoted, and people do believe today, even in the aspect of driving a luxury car, if one is into that passion, they like cars and everything. If you know how much it's going to cost you to drive, I'm just using the example here, Lamborghini, how much it costs, the maintenance and everything. It means if you had that as a dream, you are not going to be doing a job with a certain salary that will not allow you to maintain that kind of lifestyle. So you have to go into a feed, if that is even a thing that will enable you afford that kind of lifestyle. But what I will not accept tomorrow is that when you have made a choice and you put the blame on other people, it is what I will never accept. I said it earlier on, and I'm saying it again. Either young or old, if you are old enough to be able to make certain choice in life, to be able to choose certain career in life that you want to go to, and you have a certain lifestyle that you will like to live, I will also expect of you to be ready to pay the price to live that kind of lifestyle. Choosing a particular lifestyle and putting the blame and frustration on other people, an innocent person like me that have nothing to do with your lifestyle at all, that is what I will not accept from anyone. Honestly, guys, I don't care at all whatever your lifestyle is. You want to ride around or fly around the world with private jet, good for you, but be ready to pay the price. It is none of my business at all. But I will expect as a person that you afford me or accord me that respect as well, to take your frustration away from me.
I mean that this is also a very good I'll say intro in a possible, short topic or a branch of it, should I say? Because what
Good.
you just said now, right? Um, what kind of it's none of our business. We're just here giving advices, right? You just
Yeah, we are
mentioned like
talking.
if your dream is, I don't know, to drive a luxurious car, like, it's good to have a dream like that, but is that dream your priority dream? It's also very important because, you know, there are small steps to there as well. And since we are giving advices, not everything gold shines.
Yeah, and not all that glitters, it's gold or gold.
Or if you want to put it like that as well, I think
Yeah.
that that's more recognizable than my making my own.
Y-
But okay, yeah.
Yes.
It's just, and I understand like here it might be like also the younger population and stuff, but like, see, here is the thing, right? I'm gonna move in a country they have, let's say, better economy, you know
Hmm.
I might have more opportunities. I'm gonna get myself a car, like, okay, fine. If that's like your only priority, then sure, go for it, But um, even if you move to another country that has a better economy, you still need to put an effort in to get to that luxurious car, for example. So, what is your priority? Are you gonna get a good job, you know, to 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 get to that car, or you're gonna take a loan to get to that car? It's
Are
like
your
all
parents going
those,
to do it for you? Are you
or
expecting your
that for
parents
that
to do it
matter.
for
You're
you?
right. Um, the fact remains the same when you are making decisions, right? You are not necessarily always making it just for yourself.
Yes,
So
sure.
it's very important to take those things in consideration. Since you mentioned this, and
Mm,
we are here, to give advice and stuff. Listen, I had a dream of this and that, and look at me now. Um, and I'm not saying that it's not better than what the dream was, but it's completely different. And
absolutely.
you know,
I
and
said
and I'm
earlier on,
still.
Tiasha, that our experience mold or kind of steer us into a direction that maybe we didn't anticipate at the
I
beginning.
mean, I think that it grows with us, from a
Okay,
luxurious car to better education, from better education to better job, from better jobs to just healthy kids, and a roof above your head. Like it varies, um and that's fine, and that's okay, and it's like, as long as you are keep going and keep pushing, and you know but like I said, not every decision in life you're gonna make is just gonna be involving you. So that's where we
absolutely.
need to also be mindful.
That's so
Yeah.
true. That's so true. For the fact that we are talking about younger people, I think there is this aspect of our society that we do not emphasize enough or explain better to young ones, to our younger ones. With this, I mean, at any given point in time or however they say it, in any given society, there can only be one president, at most, president and the vice president, or maybe people doing power sharing, two presidents for whatever reason. You can
Yeah.
have 10 presidents in a country. Why am I
Yeah.
saying this? Why it is good to have a dream, I understand. But I think we will do well to explain to our younger ones as well. If you want to work in Apple as Apple Corporation as a company, there cannot be two CEOs. There can only be one at any given point in time. So if you want to be the CEO, I hope the person understand the steps, the
That
things
one
that they
needs to
need to,
take.
and the competition that they are going to face. Because in the last few years, we kind of tell ourselves that it is not good to have competition. Meanwhile, the system that we operate in is hierarchical. You have to be competitive to be anywhere you want to be in it. Nothing is given on a platter of gold. Even in a hospital, in a local hospital, in your local council, there is a director. The nursing department have a head, have a head of department. Not every nurses that are there are at the same time the head of department in that particular place. So I think it would be better that look, it is not true that in school there is a trophy for the eighth position that in real life you are going to meet that in life. You either number one or not. But
Yeah.
if you are content,
But you see, looking from it
mhm,
from another perspective, not what you said, right? Reward given. Like, the fact that you've been there and you've done your best and you tried, no matter what position you achieved, you're there and you deserve a bloody medal for that,
You
Because
showed
it's not
up.
always
You won.
just about winning.
I even believe in winning. You've won already. You showed up. That's already an act of winning. You
Personal
won already.
achievement.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We didn't. We do not emphasize that enough. Look, I hate the idea that we have to give a trophy to the 25th person of whatever competition because we don't want anybody to feel offended and everything. And we kind of shade our young ones away from the realities of life. In real life, in the country that I live, there is only one prime minister. We don't have 10 prime minister. We don't have the eighth place prime minister. Enough of this idea that because do you has anybody asked why the issue of mental health has become rampant in our society? A
Oh,
lot of
don't.
younger people met a word that they did not expect.
It's, I don't know. We live in a world, you know those wrap bubbles that they use to wrap, like, how do they call it? You know what I mean. It's like we
Yeah.
are wrapped in those things, and it's just like, and we wrap our kids, and God forbid something happens to them, and it's like, why? You know, the reality is completely different. Like, I can't sugarcoat it anymore. You know, it's not
And
even
that's
good
the
for me because
reason.
it's like I'm lying to myself.
And that's the reason why I said earlier on, look, I do not underestimate the experience of anyone. I came from Africa. I know that the struggle of those Europeans have their own struggle, which is fine, and I which we're able to resolve it. But my struggles are different. I
Yeah.
recognize that because while people are being protected from the reality, maybe in Western world, the Gen Z, the millennials, and everything with the way we were brought up and all that, some way, somehow, our parents protected us from the reality, but that turned out to have a negative effect against the reality that we meant in life as a person. Look, you are fine the way you are. Honestly, Tasha, we are not all fine the way we are. Some of us need to
No.
improve.
Oh my God.
Come on. I
This is
love you
this
the
is
way
one of the
you are.
reasons, you see, why. And now it might be very controversial, and a lot of people it's gonna agree with me necessarily, but that's where my point of view comes in when it comes to, because how you put that on your children, right? We just said we all want to be wrapped in that bubble wrap and like secured and stuff. And I hear like, the argument between the parents. I'm not talking about that, beating and stuff. Don't get me wrong. We're talking
Mhm,
about, so to speak, quote unquote, uh, general arguments between the two partners that occur for whatever misunderstanding or disagreements that are, a point of everyday life.
mhm,
And I'm hearing now a lot of those times, I don't do that in front of kids. We're gonna do this on one. You remove yourself. Your kid just sees the happy, blissful rainbows and butterflies kind of a life. Like, it's also like, how do you help a child from there on with the decision making? Because it is playing like, that type of a communication, like, the making of compromises, finding that, healthy balance. It's also important for the, somebody's future. Because
of
if I'm
course, it's in,
pretending that my life is cool, I'm
yes,
showing my child that everything was given to me. And not
that's true.
everything was given to me.
No, no, no. On this particular aspect, Yasha, the thing is this: for young children, we try to balance things up. There are time and season for everything, like they say. There is a time to start introducing the reality a little bit in the life of young children. When, as a young child, you start maybe learning to say A, B, C. Then from there, you pass to learning logic. To Tiasha, what happened to you? There was a little
I
break in
don't,
transmission.
please do not ask me what is happening with technology, because
Good.
I will just point that out, that also my earbuds stopped working in the middle of our conversation again,
Can
right?
you imagine?
So I have
Good.
no bloody idea what's going on. I really
Perfect.
don't know.
Like I was
But
saying, when it comes to children, if a child that has not understood the concept of logic, 5 plus 5 makes 10, 3 plus 7 is also 10. You don't introduce some concepts to them. So when we say don't do some things in the presence of a child, we are meaning it that way. Definitely, when the proper time is right, when they have understood that, look, it is not just A, B, C, but I, T means it, I, S means is, then you can now start having discussion and
no,
everything.
obviously, I mean, I didn't mean like, but my point is that people still at the age of 10, when they also need to make some decisions in school or in environment, they, society they are part of. This is, I just generalize it. Yeah, maybe I should be
Yeah,
more clear on that. I don't want to be
perfect.
misunderstood. But yeah, like, I don't know, my daughter is 7. She can communicate basically everything, and
Everything.
I'm not gonna hide from her. There are misunderstandings in life. There are disagreements in life. There are compromises to be made. And that's how it is. I'm not gonna remove myself because it happened there and then in front of her.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna sort it
Absolutely.
out, and I'm gonna show her how to sort it out. I'm not talking about traumatic experiences and
Perfect. Perfect. I
but
got you wrong in the first place, but now it's clear to me.
yeah,
Even if it's traumatic experience, honestly, look,
well,
our
even that, but
forefathers survived. They didn't die.
I'm
They
saying
were
like I
actually
don't
better
want.
off.
Exactly, but I want her, a traumatic experience in the matter of like I want her to remember they had misunderstandings, but they solved them. It was not like she will remember the solving part of it, not the actual. You got what I mean? Um,
Yes.
and I find it very important. And I also say to my friend who often says, we had a fallout. I'm angry, but I'm not gonna discuss in front of kids. Wait, your kids are old enough. I'm not talking about, have a, I don't know, throwing plates and whatever around the
Yes.
house,
In
but
fact,
address it because, the kids like that, they will never know even the empathy,
all the
because it's just like
communication
it's point blank.
skills,
Yeah,
the
there
possibility
there
of
is nothing
make
like they're point blank,
reconciliation. Hmm.
nothing, and you can see in them.
Yes.
Because then when
It,
you
it
compare
goes
my
above
daughter,
empathy, Tiasha. It
y-
goes it goes above empathy. The reconciliation aspect is very, very important.
right,
One,
it goes
even
above. You're right.
the possibility to reconcile, and I would use the word even forgiveness as well, because we could make errors. This is not life threatening errors that
Everything. I think
need
that it's every emotion that you can possibly feel, the acceptance also.
perfect.
It's all of it. So I do think like, leadership is also, from how you were brought up. Like, the confidence aspect and all of it. Everything goes to the roots back as well, you see.
you
I
can't
mean,
even you can't go on in life without not being able to communicate. Anything that you need to do, there
and
is
I
a saying,
think,
Tiasha, that those that are introverts, they actually talkative, but in the right context, they talk, they open up the
well, they say that, the introverts are also one of the most confident people,
good.
which is like, it's funny to hear, right? But
Yeah,
that's what
of
they
course.
say because they are
Of course.
listeners. They are
They
the ones
listen
that,
more,
exactly.
and they're able to filter out bullshit as well. They don't have
Yeah,
problem cutting off people
yeah.
because they don't have tolerance for bullshit like we like we do. So That's the difference between the
You see,
introverts and the
it's so
rest.
funny now when you said it because I'm a bit of both. It depends on the situation.
You're in the middle.
Yeah, I am. Like, I don't know. I
Honestly,
don't mind coming here, and talk because it means a lot to me. Because I wish that maybe I had somebody sometimes, or even like when I was younger, that would tell me
mm,
certain things. That's why I immediately jumped on board with you because I find it so important.
of course.
But
It's
then
a learning for
also
both
when
of
it
us.
comes to like, I don't want to hang out with too many people because they tire me out. Um, other people's dramas and stuff is just not my
Yes,
cup of tea.
yes,
Um,
absolutely.
so yeah, I'm a
Yeah,
bit of both.
here we are talking, we are discussing as friends, and we are eating,
I know
discussing,
we are
drinking tea and
eating,
everything.
we have our drink, which
Just
I
friends
almost
chatting.
finished.
That's the unique aspect of this podcast. It's not all about we don't want to take things too serious than they are. It's just friends talking.
On that
So if
note,
you are yes, of
Pedro,
course.
we are
Uh,
mean. We didn't
no,
even say
no.
a proper hello to Pascal, and he's already gone.
It's gone. It's unbelievable. However, I'm very happy. It was a great show again today. I mean, I like the discussion that
Yeah,
we had, and I hope it proved useful to who we come across it. The message is clear. As a young person, it is up to you to decide where you want to be in the society. But all power to you, whatever you decide. And believe me, the nature and the forces will always guide and support you. If you choose to use your energy for good, it will bring a great reward for humankind. And I hope that you do not choose to use your energy for anything negative, because there are consequences to our actions as well.
I
So
mean,
when
and
you
even
do
if
good
you
things
do, I hope you learn from it and never do
from
it
it,
again.
that's so great. That's so great. That's in fact, if there is anything you take away from this show tonight, it's also that, because making mistake is not a bad thing. You should learn from your mistake. It is like saying, when you fall down, you rise. If you do not fall down, if you go through life, everything as smooth, then there is every probability that things are not okay. Things are not going the way they should be. So at times in life, there is a little setbacks that do come or happen to every one of us. However, learn from it and move on. Learn from it and move on, and don't let the setback or the curves around along the way derail your vision. Like I keep saying, success in life is not always on the linear path. It doesn't always go on the linear path. And if you have done everything that you needed to do, accept the outcome, pick up
Yeah.
yourself and move on. Go on. Don't let anything
Make
at
another
all.
plan.
Absolutely. When you
Make another
fall,
plan
you
that might even
rise.
take you to the plan that you initially had and even maybe further. But don't give up. Like, just don't
Don't
give
give up.
up.
Giving up is not an option.
Never.
There is no need at all for you to give up. And mind you, for whoever cares to know, because there is also this notion that I will like to despair. I keep saying it and I will say it again. It is not true that everybody in the world are wicked. You do meet angels along the way. I will just make the example of us here now on the show. I knew you, Tiasha, in Cyprus. I met Pascal here in Italy. If we did not choose to be friends with each other, we wouldn't be here.
No, and it would be
Because
a mistake.
good. It even being able to maintain friendship required work, required the ability. Like me, for
Maintenance.
instance, maintenance, of course, it is necessary. I will just use this example of how I process things in life. I don't want to be the one that knows everything between me and my friends. I know when to play the number one and the second person. So I compromise. I know when to compromise. There are things that I do not know that I learn from you. And there are things that I believe that I can also teach you as well as a human being. So one of the secrets in life as a young person, in conclusion of our discussion tonight, is that you do your best to make yourself a teachable person. Be teachable. Do your best to learn
Yeah,
from
don't be
others.
egoistic.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Before any downfall of anybody in life, it's ego. If you
Oh.
put your ego above any other thing, one, it makes it difficult for people to work with you,
Mm-hmm.
because if you do not have the possibility to be the ability to be able to work with people, no matter how talented you are, you go nowhere. Since we are talking of young people, really, these are some of the things that honestly we need to push more in the society as far as young people are concerned. Interpersonal relationship is very, very important, even though we now live in the society whereby you just do things by swiping, you make all your orders online and everything. Being able to communicate is lacking in the world today, and it affects our relationship as well. Of course, we go to school to learn how to be whatever profession that we want to go into. However, interpersonal relationship oftentimes is not taught. Can you believe, as a young person, you spend your time learning how to read and studying to be in a particular profession? But however, we were never taught in a very concrete way on how we should be able to stay in our relationship with our significant other.
Not just
I
that.
don't know of any university
Social
course.
skills in general, Pedro.
It's
The
lacking.
interactions, everything that has to do with life. And I think that there is a very good reason behind why they don't do that in schools. But that's a topic for another conspiracy
For another
theory
day,
topic.
believe it. But it's something that we really have to take into consideration. So oftentimes life is way different from what we think about. I was explaining to somebody today, I don't remember who it was. There is even me as a human being. There is the I know who I am. There is the Pedro that my friends or people, anybody that know me, the idea of Pedro that they have. There is also the Pedro that Pedro himself wants to be. If I, as an individual, I have to negotiate within these three ideas, can you imagine the society as a whole?
Uh-huh.
Just for explanation's sake, I will explain again. There is the Pedro that I am, that I know for a fact that I am. This is me. I know me. There is the Pedro that those that know me, because there is that part of you that people see that you do not see as a human being. That is the
Yeah.
reason why people will see you looking at your face, they will ask you, is everything okay? That is the reason why when you say hello to some people, they may like it, they may not like it, because the tonation, the gesture, the way you make your face and everything that you yourself may not even know. Maybe you are thinking of something else, you know. There
Yeah.
is the Pedro that other people see. And there is the Pedro that Pedro himself wants to be,
Mm-hmm.
which I will consider the best version of me that I continue to work on. I continue to improve and everything. I am not that Pedro yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a work in progress. I'm still going towards that. If me as a person, as an individual, and I believe this is the case for everyone, if we continue to live in this constant contradiction, can you just imagine multiply that with 8 billion people in the world? You see how complicated it is.
I mean, it's complicated for you as an individual knowing that, there is three of you. three versions or even more for that matter. Because there is a
Yeah,
partner also that might see you in a certain way, or children involved, or
of
your
course.
parents or whatever. So it's this is because I feel like sometimes we fall under the influence of, like, I know who I am, I know what I want to do or what I want to become, but like those small me's that people spread me around are often the ones that keep people where they are.
Yes.
Because especially if you're a people pleaser, then you will never be that, the one that is there somewhere in the future, what you want to be, what you aim to be. Because if you're giving a little bit of yourself and you are adjusting that little bit of yourself for everyone on your path, you will never be that one there in a distance that you are aiming to be or you did aim to be, if that makes
Tiasha,
sense.
the thing is that the art of pleasing people is a form of self-abuse, as far as I'm concerned. It's an
It
art of
is, but
self-neglect, and I don't encourage anybody to do it.
no,
It leads to victim mindhood,
yes, I agree.
the victim mindset, and everything. I mean,
Yes,
if
I
one
understood
live,
that.
yeah,
But Pedro, it is very important that you highlight this because there might be people that are like, yeah, I am that person. I'm a people pleaser. That's why I said, if you have this, that's another part of advice, and you are
mm,
giving a little bit of yourself to everyone and adjusting it, you will never be that distance you out there that you were ever aiming to be or you wanted to be. You
yes.
understand? So
I
this
don't
is my
remember who
part of
said it,
advice.
Yasha. Yeah, that's true. I don't remember who said it. Whether it is Seneca, Aristotle, or Pluto. I don't remember which of them. A friend to everybody, everyone is a friend to none. You can't be a friend to
Was it
everybody.
Pluto?
I don't remember who it is, but I know it's one of the Greek
I
philosophers.
think that
I
it
can't
was
remember
Pluto.
exactly at the moment. A
Because
friend to everyone is
Aristotle
a friend
has
to
a little
none.
bit a different approach, more like philosophical of that matter. But yeah, um,
You can't be a friend to everybody. It is practically not possible. There is no how you can be a friend to everybody. It means that person on average still thinks like a toddler and lack what we could
this
generally regard as common sense.
this should be next week's topic.
If you can be a friend to everybody
It's not in general, whatever. Now
in
on the
general.
last part,
Okay.
I think,
Yeah.
Pedro, we just opened a topic that we can drink our juice, right? To
Yeah.
and discuss and yes, Pascal, wake up.
What are you doing?
There's a lot of activities. I'm sorry.
Activity.
Since
You know what you're doing? You're
I
chatting now. You're
no
chatting there with girls. How many did you hear? Ping, 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 ping.
it's,
Girls are
it's not
girls
it's
are
not
texting
it's
like
not guess
crazy.
it's not guess. I can show you. It's not guess.
Nah, I believe you.
Uh, I am having a family stuff here, so that's what I've been battling. I should have been online since when Pedro told me, but
You
I
see,
couldn't
you
get it.
abandoned us.
No,
Hmm.
a lot of things. Today I like
The
just want.
family took him away from us.
Yeah, can you imagine, Pedro?
But I'm
Mhm.
here. I'm here.
Crazy. We're just joking.
Mhm.
Um,
It's okay, man.
you
I
see,
hope
ting,
everything's okay
ting,
with the
ting.
family anyway.
Mm.
Nah, family first, always family first.
Always,
Unless they're,
always.
unless they are. No, I'm not gonna use that word. I'm gonna be nice today. Unless they are not worth it, then you just say toodles.
Or like they say in Italian, arrivederci.
Exactly.
Not ci vediamo, arrivederci.
Hasta la vista. Also, no, not hasta la vista, because I don't want to see you anymore. Just yeah,
Bene.
arrivederci. That's that. I'm gonna stick with that. Toodles,
Yeah,
arrivederci.
certo. Bene, bene, bene. I'm so happy to, it was a great show. I'm so happy. I'm happy that we're able to have this discussion today. Like I keep telling everybody, anything that has to do with younger people is a passion for me. I would like
Yeah,
to give the best that I can because I understood for a fact that they are the future leaders and we are going to leave the world for them when we would have lived our life and joined our ancestors,
yeah.
because that is also a fact of life that most people try to shy away from. The only faith we have, like they say in Italy, is we joining our ancestors and paying taxes. Is the fate of mankind. As far as paying
Oh,
your
you
taxes,
see, Italians say it so nice.
mm,
Because
paying
you want
paying
you
your
want
taxes.
you want direct translation from my language, how we say it. It's
How
a
do you
little
say
bit more
it?
nasty, but we say the only two things you must do in life is go to shit and die.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You must do. You have
Yeah,
no
like
choice about it. It's a
yes,
must.
yeah. Two things we always say.
Mhm.
The only two things you have to do is go to shit
Yeah,
and die.
and
We
that's
are
good.
nasty
So,
population. I'm sorry, Slovenians. I just blasted us,
it's
but yeah,
it's
we are not as
unbelievable.
polite as Italians. You see.
Yeah. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy, and I'm happy. I enjoy the time with you guys as well.
You know what? I
It makes
enjoyed
the
the
day.
fact
It
that
makes
you
the evening with.
opened up.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed your part of the story. You know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Um.
It was an
I,
interesting question that was asked to me. I pondered upon it. I was like, wow, what advice can I actually give a young person? I mean, somebody that would be Pedro of 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, if I could go back in time and do anything over
can I
and over
ask you
again.
one more thing, just fast?
Ask me, please.
What would, and Pascal, for you as well, think about it. What would your advice to younger self be?
Exactly what I've just said.
Just this, yeah?
Seriously.
My
Seriously.
my advice to my younger self is very, very simple and very, very brutal.
Shoot.
Mhm.
Right in your face. That I should be more focused.
In general or on a
In,
particular thing?
in general, I should more focus and stop trying to help everyone.
Interesting.
Because why I said that is, at some point, I'm trying to carry everyone along, but I couldn't be able to focus.
hmm You lost yourself in a process.
Yeah,
In the
kind,
process of
ki-
helping other people.
Yeah,
kind
that
of,
can happen.
kind of. So, but I pick up not not too bad. I pick up then, but my advice is just focus
On yourself.
on myself. Just
hmm
focus. Me first, others follows.
hmm if you can't put yourself first, nobody else will put you first, and you cannot help somebody else get first either.
I can't help
That's so
anybody.
true.
I cannot help anybody if I cannot help myself first.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
I must help myself. I must start before talking about helping others.
hmm
yeah,
So
it is interesting that you say
I must,
this.
I must reach to a certain stage to be able to think of helping others. Not at the initial stage when I'm
hmm
still struggling because I'm gonna fail. So that's
hmm
why I said It's a simple advice. Focus on yourself. That's all. Because
Interesting.
when I focus on myself, I don't listen to side talks. I don't have time to listen to.
Yeah.
I'm focused. So,
Hmm. You see,
This is so
I've not been
interesting.
so nice. Years
Hmm.
ago, I've not been that nice person, so can't use that advice. But maybe I would turn it the other way around. I would advise my younger self to try more when it comes to school, because I haven't tried and I took it for granted. And I'm not saying that it's all about the high education. I'm just saying, like,
There's nothing bad about higher
no, no, no.
education.
I didn't have discipline within me. You know, I was lacking discipline.
Hmm.
Um, and it reflected also in making some bad decisions along the way.
Yeah.
Um, so my advice to my younger self would be just believe in yourself as number one and help others. I'll go on the other way from what Pascal said because I haven't been nice the way I am all my life. It's like I grew it in me with the needs that I had in my life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the
That's
harder the
true.
path got for me,
Hmm.
the desire of acknowledging other people and helping them in whatever way I could grew. Yeah.
The in all honesty, the advice I will give my younger self is not to be naive, not to underestimate the importance of economic empowerment. I will explain in the sense that I used to believe that money was not everything. I happened to have an experience whereby, despite the fact that we want to believe that money is not everything, most of the good things, even today, that I would like to do for my fellow human being, for the society as a whole, require a lot of financial capital to
Yeah.
be able to do it. But it's just that why everyone moralize about whether money is good, whether life should be all about money and everything. At the same time, these are people that want to do good as well.
Hmm.
If a blind man cannot lead a group of blind men, in the sense that if I find it difficult to go nowhere, it is practically impossible for me to carry other people along. I have seen things while I was in Africa. I have seen things here too in Europe. I wish the society that I live in, for all the good intention that they had in giving me certain advice or things that were generally believed, I wish they had told us the truth, the naked truth as and I know it.
Don't
That
you
look,
think that this saying money is not everything is like from the olden days when money was not everything?
yeah, but I'm coming from a society or in an environment where it was actually taken to heart. We
I
were
think I
taught.
think it's not just your society. I think that it was people's way of dealing with not having the money. It was like kind of a consoling. I don't know. I
A
took it a
kind
lot.
of
I
coping
feel like
mechanism. You
it,
think it's a kind of coping mechanism, a method for them to cope?
I feel like I grew up with the same mentality. Maybe okay, not so too hard, but like money is not everything. But then this money is not everything, as I was growing, changed to money is not everything, but it is a lot. To now change into what can you do without money? Even health is now bought with money.
Yeah, that has always been the case, but they didn't tell us.
I
The
maybe you are right, but I feel like it's also coming from the mouth of
But
people that
I want to add
struggle.
something.
mm,
Um, don't say even health cannot be bought with money, which is
No,
wrong.
I said that even health now needs. I mean, you need to buy health now.
Even
That's what I said.
before, even before, you know, because even to take care of yourself, to get that good health, you need good food. You need to take care of. You need some certain things. So the money
Right,
is.
but it's also coming from the fact that, people in those days, at least from where I'm coming from, you know, like as of my grandma or my great grandma, they had their farms or like a couple of animals with big gardens, so they made their own produce, right? And it's just, it was taken in a whole different level. Like to go to the shop was a luxury in those days.
Yeah, but
mhm.
even if they make their own crops, some of the crop they sold it, right?
It was more like exchange, I would say.
Yeah, but something is involved. Something is involved on it. Do you understand? There's no way money is not involved in any
which
way.
which which you are right, but looking back 60, 70, 80 years ago, although to us seems very far away, I
Yeah,
mean
because
far
there is
behind.
there is something they called. It's like I have a salt and I need the sugar. Then and you need the salt.
Yeah, how do they
Yeah,
say it?
Trade by barter.
trade by barter.
Thank you, yes.
Mm.
So, is commonly in those years. That's why money was not moving
Exactly,
freely.
but
But
that's why also they said money is not everything. You
yeah,
see where I'm coming from? And it was
yeah,
very common to say it.
yeah, that is a quote. I understand. Yeah, I got you. I got you. Money
Yeah.
is not everything. I got you. But the issue why money is not everything was that this trade by barter is commonly used by people. So money is they didn't use money actually. Today, today, no more trade by barter. And you can't even go to somebody's house to knock and the person will open the door for you. So you see, a lot of things have changed. Before
Yeah.
Imagine now you go knock on somebody's door and you have like a AK-47 in your
no,
head.
before you go to somebody's house today, you have to book an appointment. You have to
Yeah.
book an appointment.
No, I get that. I know what you mean, and I do agree with you. However, it's just like some part of discussion of where it could come from, because for us now living in the society, or I'll say system, where
Mhm.
money is everything basically. It's very.
No, the thing is that I I wish as a society we were honest with ourselves. I don't know. You could be right, Tiasha. It could be a coping mechanism for those that genuinely do not have it and they don't, because, and which there is also the religious aspect of it where they say, at least for those that are Christian, the love of money is the root of all evil and everything. They
Yeah.
give quotes like that and everything. But it breaks my heart that there are a lot of good things that we would like to do. Look, Tiasha, I live in a society where it would have been nice if a lot of people have houses to stay. I wish I could actually create more houses at least in the right place, taking into consideration the environmental impact and everything, where people that I know for a fact today are sleeping outside will be able to stay.
Hmm.
It's not a solution that politics can resolve. It is purely an economic situation. Because even when you talk with the political leaders or the people that lead our society, the argument oftentimes boil down to lack of economic resources.
I
So
don't
we have
know, Pedro.
Eh?
At
You say
least
what?
not here in UK. I don't have a feeling that that's the case. Because
Why
what
are people
disappoints
homeless in
me is
the UK?
there are
But
new,
I
like
want to
there
say,
is housing units, right? They what is recognized here, there is a lot of homeless people, and a lot of these homeless people also serve their army, right? And there is now also here they are talking in my city alone. Apparently, the homelessness arose in the last 2 years. I think that I read it right for 500%.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
500% of homelessness in two
Yes,
years?
yes. So now, like the housing, right? They
And
have
it's not
something that
declared
they
as an
call.
emergency?
Thank you. But now, like the councils are saying that there is no resources to house them, so they are asking the government for help. However, they are getting new houses built or houses that are free that are housing the immigrants now in those people like asylum seekers and stuff. And
um,
there is a huge there like even in Ireland now. It was just few days ago I saw there was a house that was empty and they wrote with like spray. Um, they wrote like either Irish or the house gets burned. And it's like wow. I just like I'll get emotional if I just start speaking about it. I don't know if I like
Perfect.
because it
Anyway,
breaks my heart. So
I want to say something. I want to say something,
yeah.
please.
All
You
right,
know,
Pascal.
you know, where I came from before the civilization came in, even right now, we still have the society, the group, but the action is no more in existence. There's something they call age group, age grade. In the time immemorial, people, when you already reach to marry, if you don't have money, your age grade will team up and get you a wife. If you don't have a house, your age grade will come and build a house for you. And it's turn by turn. It's not that they will build a house for you. When another person need help, you will help to go and build for others. So it's something that goes around. There's nothing like homeless person. There's nothing like homeless. Like nothing like somebody you have everything because they live commonly until civilization come in. So I believe that I believe that there's so many things that we have lost in the name of civilization. I can tell you that for free. We lost so many things because a word that says "ana alụta agbọghọ atụfu agadi." When you marry a younger girl, that does not give you the right to throw away the old one because even the young one you marry will soon get old too. So you have to treat people right. So civilization make us to throw away the 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 olden things that we should have even how do they say modific in English? I don't forget Pedro. I don't
Mm,
how do they say
we could have adjusted or modified to suit our
yes,
way of
yes.
life.
We should have modified some of the olden things to, adopt it and use it. But no, we throw all of them away to embrace civilization. Now, see where we are today.
Yeah. You know, Pascal, before you came on board, myself and Tiasha, we were discussing debate. I told Tiasha the reason why I don't support or buy the idea of seeing people of Africa descent fighting between capitalist and socialist idea, because at the end of the day, with colonialism, our culture was completely eroded, our way of life was completely destroyed. If you hear an average European speak today, it's as if they talk in a very cavalier way, as if they want to go and civilize Africa. Even using the terms that you use now, civilization, that was just the Western world method of brainwashing us to
Yeah.
forget our way of life. Because I'm happy that you shared this. Although this wasn't our discussion for today, a lot of people didn't know that we were building houses already before the white man came to us, colonizing us as if today they speak.
They destroyed you.
They didn't, a lot of people in Europe today don't even know that there were houses in Africa.
In Africa.
And then come
We
on,
have
Pedro.
streets and the
There
rest.
are people
So
there are people on this world that still believe that Africans live on a tree.
as we
Even
speak, even in
today,
2024.
even as it, even
So
today,
But
is
that's
listen, I always say, okay, we're gonna end it. But I always say that this is why I hate. Now you are in Europe. You see this charity like UNICEF and Caritas and
mm,
stuff when they are doing their commercials online or TV or
mhm.
whatever. They're showing this African kids and everybody is and I'm like, I'm disgusted. You see this propaganda. What are you showing? Like you go to the I mean, I'm sorry to say, we have kids like that in our own places. But why using Africa, and showing that bad parts? It's so bad. Like that's why so many like there is one woman making TikToks and making fun. No, we don't have AC in Africa. You understand? No, we don't have cars in Africa. Have you
but
seen her? I absolutely love her. I cry laughing. But
but
it's just like how narrow minded and easily led by the government and media you are, it's
Mm,
ridiculously funny
yeah.
and sad at the same time.
I want to say
However,
something to you. I want to say something.
okay.
Sorry for interrupting you. We have a lot of problem to solve in Africa because I want to tell you this: colonization brought nothing but division between us.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Because we gain. I want to say that we gain nothing. Even before civilization, we manufacture things.
You gained
We
nothing,
pro-
but you lost a lot.
we
A
lost a
lot.
lot. We manufacture, we produce, we do a lot of things.
Mm.
When you go to museum in UK, you see a lot of those things we don't produce anymore. We don't know how to do it now.
We don't even know
But
how to do it
but our ancestors did it without technology, without nothing. But
without
There
we
is African food
electricity.
in
with
Caribbean just because of that, you see?
but
Like,
with the technology today, they're telling us about it. We don't know how to do it. We can't do it. But they did it then. But what I'm trying to say here is a lot of people go to Africa, they make videos of children maybe in rural areas, making saying they need this, I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all because most things here in Italy, for example, here in Parma, I know a lot of motherless child, a child without father and mother. They are men here. They have their house, but
yes, yes,
you don't
Pascal. But
you don't go
we're
you don't go there to make video and post on social network. You don't do that. You don't do that.
no, I agree with that,
But these
exposing
people,
it to this
this
extent. But what I'm trying to say is, it is not just Africa. My problem here is I know what is in Africa, but I also know what is in Europe, what is in Asia, what is in America. You understand?
how
The
can you
fact
have a
is that
law?
what I hate is that they use Africa to
l-
promote the poor,
That
undeveloped,
that is what I'm trying to tell you.
uneducated
I want to say to,
propaganda on
I want to
you.
say something. I want to say something for you to get me because I'm not yet finished. Because you know, do you think the Westerns government, let me put it that way, don't know what is going on? They use this thing. They go to Africa. They make laws that protect them here. In Africa, they don't want us to make the law. that's gonna protect us. They implant people that dealing the deals for them. Okay, they go to Africa, they do whatever they want, but we can't do what we want here. So what
I
happened?
know.
If they send those, because this organization that's going to Africa, government don't know most of them. They benefit because this is a propaganda. Now they say they are doing this deal, this medicine. They keep on stealing our resources, in exchange of all these things you see they are bringing to us.
I mean, who has a cure for cancer?
The- they okay. They
No, can you
bring.
answer that? Because I know who has it.
We have the cure for cancer. We,
Exactly.
in Africa. But let me tell you something. Malaria, in the first place, we don't have those diseases. It's a manufactured disease, like AIDS, like tuberculosis. Is a manufactured disease. But what happened? At the end of the day, they build vaccine. Which continent they went to do the experiment? In Africa.
Africa. Which country was experimented for COVID vaccine?
In
Africa.
Africa. So
Which, you know what? It's like I'm gonna get sick.
you
Let's
know
end. I
the
can't.
the
I
issue is
can't
that
chew this. I just can't because it's like it boils my blood to the extent that I'm gonna I'm gonna say something that don't.
don't
I'm so easily triggered on this topic. It's like it's disgusting to say the least. But
Anyway, we need to stay true to ourselves. And going back to what I was saying, for instance, if I were to advise my younger self, and we seek out the truths that are hidden, not the one that were
mm,
thrown to me as if they were the truth.
yes,
Living my life here in Europe and considering the amount of life that I lived to in Africa, I genuinely know today the importance of money. I
yep.
am part of an association. We have a lot of things to do. We don't have the finance to do it. Like I was saying before we dive into this discussion about houses and everything, even somebody writing something on a building saying Irish or not or nothingness, if that person had was able to get his or her place to stay, would have been going there to write something. The thing
This
is
is
that
I
what
don't know. There is always a story to a story, and there is a story to another story.
definitely,
The fact is that it's the truth and it's happening, and it's like every day there are new people coming that are assigned by the government to come, and people are now scared, and there's we can go to conspiracy theories now, but it's scary knowing that their own people are begging for money on the street, in front of the shops, by McDonald's, wherever you choose, sleeping in tents, on a cardboard, in a park, on the train station, wherever, you understand, because they don't have place to go. And it is sad, and it's somebody that flee the country for whatever reason or didn't and was brought, has a priority over your own people who pay taxes, who worked for you, you understand, and for whatever reason found themselves in a
you
hard situation that left them homeless. It could happen to me and you and whoever tomorrow, because you never
yeah,
know.
that's true. But we work the system the way it is organized. First of all, I keep talking about educating the youth right. It is an illusion for a citizen of any given country to believe that his own personal well-being is the primary obligation of the government of that country.
And I agree with that as well.
Good, good.
I
The
do.
earlier we are able to take away that illusion from our head, the better it is. You
which
know,
Pedro, it's completely understandable, and I 99% agree with you. But we also need to be real that if I lived in a country all my life and I was working, because when it comes to military, they often retire due to PTSDs and a lot of things, or injuries of that matter, because we're talking about a country that doesn't just go to Albania, to Kosovo, for example, but goes
yeah,
to Afghanistan and on other places that, we're talking about real everyday wars and battles and all of that, and they are laid out, and he's like, I don't know, like, they're sick, Pedro. I'm not talking
that
about those who went into alcohol and drugs. This is something completely different.
even
We're talking
those
about
who went,
somebody who was, yeah, who was injured, or suffers for PTSD, and got lost, I don't know, didn't have family, or
even those who
because of,
went for, even those who went into alcohol, Tiasha, because one could be okay health wise today, and tomorrow things could change.
exactly. But
Anything can happen.
what I mean is, because some people might see it like, oh, you're just begging for alcohol and drugs. That's why I said that I do understand
No,
that people might be thinking from that perspective. But I'm saying
yes,
that when I see somebody who has been injured during the war, that he was actually sent there by the government, is suffering from PTSD, let's say, not even injured as such. You understand? This is a serious mental struggle. And if you don't have a
that is true.
consistent help, and if you don't have a consistency in your life in general, Pedro, you're fucked. And that's how they end up on the street. And being on the street with a sickness like that, come on, it's a death penalty.
Absolutely. But like I was saying, I will say it again, and I hope a lot of people really listen and take this thing into consideration. Our topic today, our show today was based on young people. And my
Yeah.
message to any young person was to determine where they want to be in the food chain. It seems I am joking. It may seem to anyone listening to me like, who is this person? He doesn't know what he's saying and everything. But the fact remains that, look, why politicians, government try to do the best in their own world that they can. But I am telling anybody listening to the sound of my voice, take it or leave it. The welfare system is temporary, it's not going to be permanent. And even if anyone happens to have a little bit of welfare program, participate in a welfare program, and do not do everything humanly possible to go out of it as soon as possible, is a big problem in the first place. And for you to carry your own weight in life, I said this thing because of the question that you asked. If I were to go back in time and advise my younger self,
Hmm.
what will I do? All things be equal, I would have taken serious the importance of financial literacy, the importance of finance. I wouldn't have been naive and generally believe like most of my peers and some people that I know, money is not everything, being benevolent and everything. It was it doesn't even come close to the reality that I meant in real life. It didn't come
Yeah.
close to it at all. Just like you rightly said earlier on, even in places where healthcare used to be guaranteed by the government to their citizens, today it is no longer guaranteed. And guess what? They now change the saying like they used to say, money cannot buy you happiness. Now they say money cannot buy you happiness, but it can at least buy you luxury. It can at least buy you access to healthcare. It can't buy you health, but it can at least buy you access to healthcare. Carvolo, I wish you guys had told me this while I was growing up. I should have known.
Yeah.
And now you fucked up my brain to think that this is not the right thing. Shouldn't look, really. I wish I am not saying by all means be everything should be about money. That is not what I wish I could find a better way to explain it. Look, underestimating the importance of what money can do in our life was a very wrong thing.
Yeah, I
Was a
agree.
very wrong thing. And we were taught to look at those that took their life serious, understood the secret of what money could do. They all went about money, everything. Some people never even gave water to their neighbor for free. They asked for
Oh
payment
yeah.
for it. We
Yeah.
consider them evil and bad people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? With all the things that I see in the world today, you really want me to believe these people are evil and bad people? They mind their business. They knew from earlier on that they were supposed to do so. I wish I had mind my business.
I
I
mean,
wish I mind my business. Oh, I wish I had mind my business.
listen, you do know now, you've learned. Maybe if you were taught for initially all of that, would you actually take it the way you are taking it now, as you are learning from your own experiences?
That's another problem. But the question you ask has to do with the past. Even now that I know it, it is rather too late. There are some feats that I can no longer go to. Tasha, I'm more than 14. I can't run like I used to run 10 years ago.
Listen, which is the fact, but you knowing this now, right? I know you're not gonna put it on your kid and lie to him the same way you've been lied to.
So
Completely get
true.
that. But your child might not take it the way you are taking it. Your child needs to learn those things along the line to
Yes.
understand.
That's the
Your words
realities
will
of
mean
life.
shit after, I don't know, 20 years. You know what I mean?
Like the words of our parents didn't meant shit for us. Majority of us, some things were told anyway, but we didn't listen as well.
I mean, because those are the things that you are kind of told in the years that you are the smartest and the parents don't know anything, as number one. Um, but I mean, I personally, okay, fine. I wish that I was told certain things differently, and I'm not just like in general, whatever. But then at the same time, I know myself, and I know how I used to be, and I know that I would take it completely different. And I'm in a way happy that I've been put through the path that I walked on, because like I said before, I wasn't born the nicest person, and I admit that. you
Yes.
know to help others is not, I'm not going to say it was not an option. It was just not thought about.
And
I
you
would,
you were
and
giving
it's
birth
like,
to in a society. Sorry, I
yeah,
was
but
trying to say that you were
Pedro,
giving birth to in a society where those things are not particularly necessary.
it might be that, but also now thinking back, I don't know, maybe it was because of my own demons that I was fighting, and that I was already at that point, focusing on myself and bettering myself to a certain point. But there was a few people that said in my life, when I first saw you, I thought you are a complete bitch. And
Okay.
I'm like, why? I mean, why? Is there something in particular? But there is also, like, it might be also my demeanor, because one thing is, I can't stand bullshit. And I will tell you, like, point blank, like, okay, yeah, I learned now how to sugarcoat a little bit. I do care about people's emotions a little bit more now. But, like, I will tell you in my own way when I know you are bullshitting. And by that
Absolutely.
I mean, like, I can even remove myself from your life. Like, I'll just point blank not be there anymore. And that's how I'm letting you know. And it's like, I don't know, maybe how I come across, maybe the tone of my voice, I don't know.
Hmm.
But there was a lot of people who told me that when they met me the first time, they thought that I'm a complete bitch.
But I was saying earlier on that look, there is the Pedro that I know that I am. I
Hmm.
know who I am. There is the one that other people perceive. And at the same time, I know the type of Pedro that I want to be.
Yeah.
They may not see the work that I do to better myself to be the type of Pedro that I have in my mind that I want to be. You know, not to change for them. I want to, the competition that I have is myself. I want to
Yeah.
change for myself and everything. So I am negotiating with three ideas: who I am, who I have in mind to be, and what other people think. I
Hmm.
could somehow care less a little bit about what other people, because I know for real, for a father, they do not make me. So I don't let that anymore weigh down on me and influence my decision that may
Hmm.
even lead me to a path in life that I don't want to be. I have
Yeah.
learned that, at least at this age and everything, I don't need that no more. I'm too big for a thing like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, look, I know where I want to be. I know where I want to be. I can't change
And
other
that's all
people's
that
mind and
counts.
intention. I know where I want to be. But it is a pity, as far as I am concerned, that despite, you know, self delusion is one of the greatest disease that one could have
Hmm.
as a human being.
Hmm.
You know the truth. You know exactly that this is the truth, but you continue to tell yourself, no, that is not it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even this thing could be taken to different. You said earlier on there is a reason why they don't teach us about relationship in the university. Tiasha, do you
Hmm.
know that? Let's call a spade a spade. Do you know that we go to universities to study how to
Robots.
sell in the supermarket and everything? But meanwhile, as husband and wife, two people that are supposed to be in love, have to show compromise, how to be able to negotiate between our partners and everything. There is no course in the university for it.
I mean, I
You
see I see
empower.
schooling as a good thing, but then at the same time, I see schooling also as a bad thing. And I'm gonna please just define that really fast. In schooling, they have a particular, like, there are certain regulations, even how you need to write, like when you write the test, they give you a task, and you need to do this and that, and then you just write it, I don't know, differently, not in the line, and you don't get a point, right?
Mhm.
For me, that's limitations. If
For
a
real.
child has done everything correct, if the child has written all the words correct, why are you grading him with 0 points just because he didn't follow your rules of how to write it? Why are you narrow minding a future leader? Why does it need to be by the rule? He did a task, he just wrote it, I don't know, not in a particular line that you wanted. And even, listen, if you want it to follow, can you give an example for them to follow? You can't just expect people to know how you got. It's so wrong. Like, why mathematicians, when you are writing, there is a result, there is a right result, they just got to it differently, or they didn't write how they got it. Why is it graded with 0 points? Because it's not your way.
Obviously, yes. It's not the
And it's
person's
wrong,
way.
Pedro. It is wrong. Do you want your child to be led certain way because they decided that your child needs to be led that way? Why does your child need to be thinking this way and not that way? Why
But that
can't
is
the
the essence
child?
of school.
Why do clouds appear? Why can't your child say, I don't know, for example, because God creates them?
But that is the essence of school, Tiasha. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry to
no,
break the
Pedro, the
bubble.
fact is, it's not. No, listen, what I'm saying is, I know that and I appreciate
Okay.
schooling, but instead of encouraging the child with their own thoughts, if you think that God created them, Okay, good thinking. Who else has an idea? Who else has an idea? Well, what we know is that clouds get created like this and like that. I'm not saying right in a test God created them, but I'm encouraging you to think. Think outside of the box.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing wrong with your thinking because it might bring you somewhere along the line. Because later on, after a year, two, 10, you're going to be thinking outside of the box and maybe brought a company from 0 to 100 because of the way you were thinking, not because of the way they want you to think. Maybe I went a little bit too far with the clouds and stuff, but I'm trying to give you an idea of how they want to make them think certain way, and there is only this way and only this is right and only this is the way to go. Forget about facts. Fine. But still, when there is a fact, right? You still encourage them. Like, let's think, you know? I don't need to tell you immediately. But if I make you think and then
Absolutely.
I tell you what our fact is, I'm guiding you. I don't know if that really makes sense, but it's just my how I see all this educational system right now. I feel like
Yeah,
they're
that's
creating
true.
robots.
No, the thing is that you are right. They are, you just use the right word. They are creating robots. That has always been the mission of school. You should remember, you should understand the reason why school was created. School was not created to create better citizens for the society. They were created to have mass production of workers that will work in factory and everything, to
And
follow
will
orders
obey.
and everything. Absolutely obey, to know how to work in team, to be able to realize a project and everything. We were not, schools were not originally created, even within, mind you, first of all, though we live in the information age, our schooling system is still in the industrial age. It
Hmm.
still, it still follow ideas and strategy that was applied during the industrial age. Our schooling system idea and thought is still very, very old.
Yeah.
Today, there are a lot of people that now believe that the basic thing we need in the society is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Every other one is bullshit, according to them. You basically do not need it because at the end of the day, if you had to go and think of what contributes to what in the society, in terms of
Technology.
practical terms, in terms of survivability, you actually need science, technology, engineering, mathematics. You are fine. Every other one philosophizing, trying to, which is also very fine because I believe in social science as well, because being able to communicate among
But
ourselves,
that's
not
gonna
fighting
stop.
each other, no fight. No, but really, let's be honest, things could be worse. We could have been fighting each other right now if we have not been able to develop that social science, that idea of emotional
Like
intelligence.
caveman.
Good, because you said
Yeah.
earlier on that over the years you've learned how to sugarcoat a little bit because you don't want to emotionally abuse people or don't taking
Yeah.
their emotion into consideration, which is a very good thing. These are effect of social science. So that is the reason why I do not actually believe solely in what those section in our society believe that we only need STEM to be able to survive as a society. We do need social science. We do need the ability to be able to communicate,
We
which is
do
very, very
need it
important.
because, yeah, but they don't want us to need it, or they don't want us to have it, I would rather say.
Yeah. But mind you, Tasha, maybe anyone would call me a conspiracy theorist or whatsoever. I don't care at this moment. At this stage, I don't care. Honestly, it is an illusion for anybody in 2024 to think that, look, my survivability depends on the government that I have or who is in the presidential palace. At this age, with the experience that we have seen or had over the years, don't do that. Don't do that.
I
It is
completely
not the
agree.
government's job to provide public and free housings for every citizen of their country. Otherwise, they wouldn't be collecting tax from people. Do you know that the houses that you have already, that you have paid, you've paid the mortgage and everything, you still have to pay tax to the government. House that you have already,
Yeah.
if they want you to enjoy your free home and everything, would they be taking taxes from homeowners? Do you know the amount of money that governments around the world made from houses? You really want them to provide free houses for you?
No, yeah, yeah.
No, at a point, Tiasha, we should be able to speak honestly to ourselves. Do you really
No,
want me
I
now?
mean, listen, I do and I don't. Like, it depends in which position you. I'm not saying.
We are speaking generally. I'm not talking about the one that find themselves in
Listen, I
difficulties.
believe I believe that if I've done enough, like I'm a foreigner, so I will speak for my country in Slovenia, okay? Because for UK, forget about it. But I believe that the government should do more, and it should do more for the young families starting off. At least offer some type of bouncing ball. You understand that they can bounce off and start their future with that. I'm not saying it should be compulsory, but like maybe fine. There should be some, because you do need to protect yourself on the long run. There should be some, maybe, I don't know, points you need to fulfill, in order for you to get to there, maybe like certain age, or how long you've been together, or if you have a child together and stuff like that. But I do believe it should be given something, because number one, it would fix people's mentality about the relationships, possibly. Number two, it can help you significantly when it comes to financial aspect for starting your own life. Maybe more confidence for the future. It will give you that boost potentially. You understand?
Yeah,
To even better the situation you have been given. I mean, this is how I see it. Now, from the other side, I also know that the system could be abused. I'm well aware of that, and maybe people would take it for granted, which is also something that it should be very taught around and about, for it to work, maybe to the extent that I would wish it to work. But I believe that,
okay.
like, my parents and somebody else's parents, or even like our grandparents or whatever generation before, has provided for the country enough. You understand? Like, these are people that are paying into the, I would say, a basket, the governmental basket. You understand? And sometimes even like when they go to pension, it's they're struggling. Like, why? They work 30, 40, 50 years. You understand? Some of them.
Yeah.
Why don't they deserve a better off?
Pero I said pero because I want to start speaking Italian. The thing is that the
It's too late
the
already.
the pension scheme and everything, almost in every country on earth, if you have to go and look at their pension program, there is no money in it. It cannot even
I
sustain.
understand, but Pedro, let's say then, for example, I wouldn't mind, and I'm gonna be now honest, as a person I am, as a mother that I am, and whatever. If there is no pension for me, I'm putting in. Then establish and build new houses for my future. I mean, for my kids' future. Provide that for them, because money is gone anyway. You
The
know what I
thing is
mean?
that, yeah, of course, that's the reason why in Europe, for instance, we need more young people to work so that they'll be able to. The more we have citizens that are working, paying taxes, we can be able to take care of our own. With the
The
state of
problem is,
affairs,
listen, you
mm,
cannot do that, and that's probably a topic for another week.
yeah,
uh, you cannot do that if you are raising the age where you can go to pension. You're having now old people, the slow labor, and I'm not disrespecting anyone, but it's a pure fact. And the
of
younger
course.
ones are still dependent on the government or parents.
Yeah, that is. But one thing that we need to know in discussing things like this is that look, every generation have their battle. This is our battle at the moment. And my
Yeah.
message to anybody is that look, be smart, do the same thing like other people were able to do. If you can, we have a model. If you can, please do it. That's the reason why I believe some advice at a young age is bad for some of us. If I had known, although we already established, maybe if I was told, I wouldn't even have believed it. But however, at least I wish I was told. I wish I was not told that money is bad, money is evil. I wish I didn't see people that were rich being criticized as if they stole their money. I grew up having discussion whereby every rich person was almost presented to me as if it's a criminal. Like, it is only when I started working, it is only when I started seeing how people run business, the energy, the effort, and everything, even being able to stay rich.
Yeah.
It is actually more easier to get to being rich than to remain being rich. When I
Please,
discover how
I want to.
the task system and everything works, I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
this is crazy. Here we are saying that the government are not able to do what they need to do and everything. If you look at the tax system and everything, and how those that have one or two things in our society are being tasked, of course, we can easily jump to the normal escape route and everything. Most people evade taxes and everything. Fine, yes, but can we really talk about the tax system? That's like a knife to the throat.
True.
Please,
It's crazy.
I'm feeling as though I don't know if you people can permit me to go and hug my pet.
Yeah,
Of
we are
course.
going anyway.
We are going anyway. Eh, it's Tiasha that asked question. Oh. We did two show tonight. We did two show. We did the show that we came to do, and we ended up doing another one
Look,
entirely.
he's gonna blame me now.
No,
Yes, I'm
nobody's
blaming
blaming
you.
you.
Everything is
Nobody's
your
blaming.
fault.
Oh, yes. That's what
Everything
I
is your
wanted.
fault. Honestly, it was a good one, honestly. And for the at least for the last time tonight, we are saying goodbye everyone that have watched us tonight, that have been with us the whole night and
Good
everything. I really
night.
appreciate. And please comment on the video, share the video around. And I want to use this opportunity to give a shout out to the Photo Prof Studio, Achievers Award of Obina Stanley for their support and everything on our
Thank
podcast.
you.
It's been a blessing being able to really know Obina Stanley and their effort from Achievers World. At the same time, a special greetings to Studio Legale della Briganti of Parma. It's a pleasure being able to work with you all, and I am happy. And anyone that have document issue here in Italy, if you have applied for document for more than 10 years, I said 10 years, sorry, for more than 1 year, you don't hear anything from the Questura and everything, please contact the Studio Legale della Briganti of Parma, and they will be able to help you to resolve the issue. And my special thanks to Tiasha Castellic Asomani, and a big thank you to Chimeze Pascal. I'm really grateful for your time. I know today we did 3 hours. Like I said earlier on, it was supposed to be a very simple discussion, but oftentimes the goddess herself
It's not. It's. It's not
came
always
up with
possible.
questions and everything, and here we are. It's
The
crazy.
goddess.
Sorry,
Yeah,
guys. It's my
of course.
fault.
Of course, it was. I really appreciate the time and effort, guys. I'm so grateful, and yeah,
See you next week.
Next week Saturday we'll be here again with you. Share the video, comment on the video, share it to those that it will help. We are just friends discussing like it will be in our parlor when
Well,
we meet and
friends
everything.
don't
So
blame other friends, by the way.
friends blame other friends. Otherwise, is my enemy going to blame me? I don't care what my enemy says. Honestly, it's already a hater. Why should I care what the enemy says? So I don't care at all. Eh, so, so that's it. It was really great. I'm really grateful. Thanks, Pascal, for the time. I'm so grateful. And
Good night,
good night,
Pascal.
everyone. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.